Good evening and welcome to Terry Foxhoven Ballpark in Wynot, Nebraska. I'm Michael Schumacher on Classic Hits 106.3 and 5-star streaming on YouTube, and we are getting ready for the championship game of the District 6B tournament featuring the teams of the South Central League. And this tonight will be Tabor versus Wynot. So we want to thank everybody that's tuned in all postseason long. And we want to thank our sponsors. Without them, again, we would not be able to put this broadcast on. And so, as we always say, you don't have to buy from them, but we do ask that you allow them to compete for your business. They might surprise you on service or price or selection or just the fact that they support your local hometown events. And so, a big thank you to Greg Davis Excavation, Crofton Lakeview Golf Course, Downtown Auto Service, High Street Insurance and Financial Service, Menno State Bank, Central Farmers Cooperative, Joe's Substation, Elkhorn Valley Bank and Trust, Byerly Insurance Agency, Tabor Lumber Co-op, The Keg, Wynot Oil Company, Parker Hannafin, Renewable Ag Products, Midwest Insurance Agency, 402 Collision and Repair, Merchant State Bank of Freeman and Irene, Corner Nugget, Cedar Security Bank, Jones Feed and Grain, Larson Carpet, The Bone Setter Chiropractic in Yankton, Hoots Bar, Rural Manufacturing, Core Trust Bank, The Beer Garden in Menno, Integrity Insurance Agency, the Menno Olivet Care Center, Whitmire & Associates Realty and Property Management. Our national anthem tonight will be brought to you by Richard and Nancy Klochek in the Scotland VFW Auxiliary. And Who's on Deck is brought to you by Chris Hay Grinding of Tyndall. So we want to thank all of them for being sponsors of these broadcasts. Because, again, without them, we are not able to put these on. So we want to thank you for tuning in and, again, just giving them a chance to compete. All right, so, again, as we mentioned, it's Wynot versus Crofton. Or not Wynot versus Crofton, Wynot versus Tabor tonight. Thank you, Joe. Wynot versus Tabor tonight. Wynot finished third in the South Central League, second among the Class B teams at 9-5. Tabor, they finished on top at 11-3 among the Class B teams. Yankton, of course, the Class A team in South Central League, finished undefeated. So Tabor 11-3 on the season, 6-1 at home, 5-2 on the road. They scored 140 runs on the season in those 14 games, averaging 10 runs per game. They gave up an average of 5.79. Wynot, on the other hand, they scored 96 runs, averaging 6.86, giving up an average of 5.36. So a little less offense from Wynot, but that's kind of the Wynot way. They manufacture runs. So 6 runs, 7 runs, that's kind of right in their sweet spot. So we'll see who the pitchers are tonight. I do have Tabor's starting lineup. Tabor is managed by Chris Sutera. And so leading off and playing shortstop will be number 2, Riley Rothschadel. Batting second and catching, number 7, Joey Slama. Batting third and playing third is number 23, Hunter Halleck. Batting cleanup and playing first base, number 24, Matt Brown. Batting fifth and pitching is number 20, Chase Corton. Batting sixth and playing center field, number 16, Easton Mutter. Batting seventh and playing second base, number 8, in the Legion uniform, Landon Schmidt. Batting 8th and playing left field, number 1, Sam Saba. And batting 9th and playing right field, number 11, Bo Rothschadel. Also on the roster tonight, Zach Sutera, Chris Sutera, Dean Call, Bryce Shazinski, Zach Chuka, Jackson Saba, Jeff Honor, Caden Himes, Trey Call, Landon Barish, who's a Legion player, and Jace Topol, who is also a Legion player. So we're going to come back. We'll take a look at the stats for both of these teams individually for pitching and for hitting, as we're getting ready to crown a champion here in Region District 6B. So the 4 teams from District 6 have been determined. It will be Tabor and Wynot, along with Crofton and Freeman. So the draft will be held tonight for pickup players. And so we'll have that for you. Tune in to At the Mic on ESPN Radio, 101.5 FM, 1570 AM from 7 until 9 on Monday morning. We will have those draft pickups for you. We'll also try to have some interviews with the managers, maybe some players for the teams. Also, additionally, Travis Lee, we're going to have him on. He is the manager and player for the Elk Point Colt 45s. So we will talk to him and them as well. So we'll have all of that on. Also, Andrew Dukowitz will be on At the Mic. Andrew Dukowitz is a beat writer for the Timberwolves and the Lynx. And so he will be on At the Mic tomorrow morning at 8:05. Thanks again, Joe. And now we do have the Wynot starting lineups. Wynot managed by Lee Hymas. Leading off and playing third base, number 31, Carson Weisler. Batting second and playing center field, number 9, Jackson Sudbeck. Batting third and playing shortstop, number 22, Jalen Weisler. Batting cleanup and playing right field, number 34, Lee Hymas. Batting fifth and playing first base, number 17, Peyton Weisler. Batting sixth and pitching, number 14, Landon Weisler. Batting seventh and playing second base, number 25, Legion player Zach Foxhoven. Batting eighth and catching, number 3, David Schenk. And batting ninth and playing left field, number 11, Nate Weisler. Other players on the roster, number 2, Jude Cry. Number 6, Nolan Ostrand. Number 7, Austin Snedker. Number 8, Ryan Hymas. Number 10, Mason Miller. Number 15, Devin Lammers. Number 16, Scott Morrison. Number 20, Dylan Heine. And number 21, Colin Weisler. So we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we'll look at stats for everyone tonight coming into this matchup, and we'll be back with more. So we will be back with more. This is South Central League Baseball on Classic Hits 106.3 and 5-star streaming on YouTube. From Terry Foxhoven Ballpark in Wynot, Nebraska, I'm Michael Schumacher, and we'll be back after these messages from Hoots Bar, Downtown Auto Service, Central Farmers Cooperative, Elkhorn Valley Bank, Parker Hannafin, and Greg Davis Excavation.
Want your party to be a hoot? Then have it at Hoots Bar in Freeman, where they are always looking for a great group to party with. The staff at Hoots says stop in and try the selection of beers on tap or use the easy drive-up window for off sale. But the Hoots team would rather see you join them inside. Hoots Bar in Freeman offers darts, lottery, and golf. You can also relax with your cocktail in the outdoor beer garden. Hungry? Order up a delicious Hoots Bar Pizza. Fun, friendly, helpful staff is waiting for you at Hoots Bar in Freeman. See you at Hoots.
If your car can't get you all the way home or just needs regular maintenance, call Downtown Auto Service in Crofton with a commitment to providing you with honest quality service with reasonable prices. With the technology and expertise Downtown Auto Service in Crofton provides, your car will have the best care imaginable. When it comes to your vehicle, you want the best, and Downtown Auto Service in Crofton is not only the best downtown, it's the best all around. That's Downtown Auto Service in Crofton.
Central Farmers Cooperative is more than just a business, they're your local partner in success. Whether you're in need of quality seed, reliable chemicals, or expert crop advice, they have you covered. With years of expertise, they know what it takes to help you grow your farm, your future, and your community. Stop by today or call Chris at 605-660-4146 and let them help you grow. Central Farmers Cooperative in Irene, your trusted farm partner for 2025 and beyond.
Does your bank have banker hours? This is Lynn Peterson. At Elkhorn Valley Bank, we offer extended drive-through transaction hours with our teller on demand. Just simply pull up, push a button, and a live teller will pop up on the screen, ready to assist you with a wide variety of banking transactions. And our teller on demand is available weekdays 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. and Saturdays 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. How about those banker hours? Teller on demand exclusively at Elkhorn Valley Bank, Yankton.
Parker Hannafin in Yankton has proudly produced filters in their communities for 40 years. With a mission to protect their customers' engines and equipment from first to last use, you know you can trust Parker Hannafin. They have superb product quality, an extensive distribution network, and the industry's broadest product line. All of this in 40 years of doing what they're good at. That's Parker Hannafin in Yankton. Check out their website to see their wide variety of products and how they can help you. Parker Hannafin in Yankton is a proud supporter of all South Central League athletes. If you're in need of concrete or excavation work this year, call on Greg Davis Excavation and Concrete of Irene. Greg wishes the Irene Cardinals amateur baseball team Good luck in tonight's game and all season long. Greg Davis Excavation and Concrete, a proud supporter of all area activities and the Irene Cardinals baseball team. If you want it done the right way, call Greg Davis Excavation and Concrete, 605-661-0425.
Welcome back to South Central League Baseball District 6B tournament action as we are bringing you the championship game between the Tabor Blue Jays and the Wynot Expos. Now, Tabor will be the home team. They are the higher seed. As we are broadcasting, though, from Terry Foxhoven Ballpark in Wynot. Wynot will be the road team. And so we do have our starting lineups. Let's take a look at some of the stats, if I'm able to get those pulled up here. Let's start with the Wynot Expos. All right, I'm going to take a quick look at a game changer. Give me just a moment here. It's just getting the lineups written down, so a little bit behind schedule here, so I apologize for that. There we go. All right, so leading off for this Wynot team will be Carson Weisler playing third base, Jackson Sudbeck in center field, Jalen Weisler at short, Lee Hymas in right field, Peyton Weisler at first, Landon Weisler pitching, Zach Foxhoven, the Legion player, at second, David Schenk catching, and Nate Weisler in left field. Of course, now it's making me sign in. Never does that any other time, but whatever. All right. So, again, Landon Weisler pitching tonight. So let's take a look at how are you guys tonight? Good. All right, so let's take a look at these two teams. The Expos. There we go. The Wynot Expos. Statistically, leading off will be Carson Weisler, the third baseman. Carson on the season is batting .214 with a .635 OPS. 10 runs scored, 20 walks though. He does have 4 sacrifices, and he has stolen 5 bases in 5 attempts. Jackson Sudbeck batting second. Jackson Sudbeck batted .265 on the season with a .710 OPS. 18 hits along with 6 walks, 13 runs scored, and he also has 3 stolen bases on the season. Jalen Weisler playing shortstop, batting third. And Jalen is batting on the season, .309 with a .826 OPS. And Weisler plays a solid shortstop, and he has 6 stolen bases in 6 attempts this season. Lee Hymas batting cleanup and playing right field tonight. Lee Hymas, who will be inducted into the Hall of Fame at the Class B tournament semifinal night, batted .321 in the regular season, .940 OPS. He also has 6 stolen bases in 6 attempts. First baseman Peyton Weisler. Peyton Weisler is batting .333 with a .1011 OPS. Batting sixth and pitching will be Landon Weisler. Landon Weisler on the season batted .297 with a .760 OPS. He had 5 stolen bases on the year. Zach Foxhoven, he is a Legion player. Played in just 1 game. Perfect batting average, a 2,000 OPS. Doesn't get much better than that. And then David Schenk, the catcher. David Schenk, the catcher on the season, batted .239 with a .590 OPS. And then Nate Weisler. Nate Weisler batting ninth. He batted .184 with a .604 OPS. So a .604 OPS, not bad with that batting average. 8 walks on the season. So that's a look at your starting lineup. Now pitching, Landon Weisler will be your pitcher. He pitched 34 2/3 innings this season. He's 2-0 on the year. In those 34 innings, he gave up 25 hits, 7 earned runs, did walk 21, and we saw that the other night. He does have a little bit of a walk problem, but his ERA is 1.41 with a whip of 1.327. So probably here's where Wynot's going to be really tough if they can make it. They're making it to the state tournament. Between Jackson Sudbeck, Landon Weisler, and Jalen Weisler, they have a really strong trio of pitchers. And then that's before you even talk about Carson Weisler. So Each of them has an ERA ranging from 1.41, 2.2, 3.0, and 3.4, and a whip of .97 all the way up to 1.5. So 4 really quality pitchers, and they will be throwing Landon Weisler tonight. So for Tabor, we'll take a look at Tabor when we come back on the other side of this break. So this is South Central League Baseball, the District 6B tournament on Classic Hits 106.3 and 5-star streaming on YouTube. I'm Michael Schumacher from Terry Fox Open Ballpark in Wynot. We'll be back after these messages from our sponsors, including Midwest Insurance Agency, Merchant State Bank, Crofton Lakeview Golf Course, Jones Feed and Grain Trucking, The Keg, and Joe's Substation.
Insurance can be complicated, but it doesn't have to be when you insure with Midwest Insurance Agency, located at 3016 Piper Street in Yankton. Through 3 generations, the Devine family has been awarded numerous awards and has spent many hours serving the community. Travis and Whitney Devine currently carry on that legacy. They know what is best when it comes to insuring your property, vehicles, and other equipment because they are just like you. Midwest Insurance Agency, Yankton. Call 605-665-2389 to book your appointment.
You will find Merchant State Bank in Freeman, Hurley, Viborg, and Irene, the bank that offers big bank products to meet your financial needs. Merchant State Bank's mission is to promote economic stability within the communities they call home. Visit Merchant State Bank at msb-sd.com to browse their website. Merchant State Bank is proud to sponsor the athletic and academic activities of the communities they serve. Merchant State Bank, since 1899, an equal opportunity lender.
Crofton Lakeview Golf Course is located on the bluff overlooking the panoramic Lewis and Clark Lake in northeast Nebraska. Opened in 1989, the 9-hole regulation public course offers 3,149 yards of golf with a par 36. The course rating is a 35.5 with a slope rating of 115. Crofton Lakeview Golf Course is a proud sponsor of this broadcast. Good luck all South Central teams.
Jones Feed and Grain Trucking in Wynot, Nebraska is proud to serve the northeast Nebraska and surrounding tri-state area of Nebraska, South Dakota, and Iowa. When you need feed for your livestock, they haul dry or liquid right to your farm. When you need fertilizer, they also haul dry or liquid. Why not give Jones Feed and Grain Trucking a call to save you time and money with your feed or fertilizer needs? That's Jones Feed and Grain Trucking in Wynot, Nebraska, serving the tri-state area.
The Keg and Tabor is a great place to enjoy some food or a cold one. The grill is on at 11 a.m. Monday through Saturday. Order yourself some appetizers, steak tips, a burger, or some fries or tots. Order up a cold one to go with your meal. Lunch specials are served Monday through Friday. Looking for a place to host a party? Check out the beer garden at the Keg. On the way to the game, make sure you stop by the Keg and Tabor to pick up your cold beverages and munchies. Mike and Anita are proud sponsors of Tabor Bluebirds and all South Central League baseball teams.
Joe's Substation in Lesterville says go Bronx, and so should you. Go to Joe's Substation when you are hungry. They serve that amazing Alaskan pollock and delicious roasted chicken. Lunch specials are served Tuesday through Friday from 11 to 1, and on Wednesday it's the all-you-can-eat roasted chicken and fish buffet served from 5 to 8 p.m. Weekends the kitchen is open from 5 p. to 9, so when you're out and about, hungry and need some nourishment or a cold beverage, Joe's Substation is the place. 4 miles south of Lesterville. Go Bronx!
Welcome back to Classic Hits 106.3 and 5-star streaming on YouTube's continuing coverage of District 6B baseball. As we are bringing you the championship game between Tabor and Wynot. Let's take a look at those stats from Terry Fox Open Field in Wynot. Let's take a look at those stats for Tabor. As leading off will be Riley Rothschadel. Well, Rothschadel on the season batted .358 with an 1168 OPS. 11 singles, 4 doubles, 3 triple, and 3 home runs. Scored 33 runs, had 15 walks, and also had 16 stolen bases. Joey Slama, the catcher, long-standing catcher, batted .429 on the season with a 1034 OPS with 14 singles and 4 doubles, 13 RBI, 18 runs scored. and he had 4 stolen bases on the season. Hunter Halleck, I'm just going to tell you, Hunter Halleck on the season had 1 stolen base, which I'm a little surprised. I didn't think he'd have any. 432 average with 1149 OPS, so a very offensive-minded team. Matt Brown on the season batted .324 with a 1210 OPS. Chase Corton, who will be pitching tonight. Chase Corton will be pitching. He batted .254 on the season with a 689 OPS. On the season, he also had 1 stolen base. Easton Mutter. Easton Mutter is batting 6th. He had 6 stolen bases on the season. He batted .400 with a 1038 OPS. Landon Schmidt, Legion player, batted .389 with a 1004 OPS. Sam Saba, he'll be playing left field. He batted 190 on the season with a 533 OPS. And then Bo Rothschadel on the season batted 170 with a 644 OPS. Now let's take a look at Chase Corton's pitching numbers. He had the 2nd most innings on the season for Tabor. 28 innings pitched, 6 starts, 6 appearances. In those 28 innings, he gave up 36 hits, 21 runs, 12 of them earned, 7 walks. So an ERA of 3.85, a walks hits per innings pitched of 1.536. So should be a pretty good matchup tonight between Landon Weisler and Chase Corton. A higher-powered offense. Landon Weisler might have the better pitching numbers, but it's probably a higher-powered offense on Tabor's side, with Wynot kind of fighting for every run that they can get. So we'll see who can beat who. So these 2 teams during the season met on May 15th with Tabor defeating Wynot 8-0. They then met on June 12th with Tabor defeating Wynot 9-5. So they met twice during the season. Tabor won both. Won 8-0, and then 9-5 being much closer. So we're getting ready for starting lineup. So we'll take a quick timeout. When we come back, we will have the national anthem brought to you by Richard and Nancy Klochek and the Scotland VFW Auxiliary. From Terry Foxhoven Ballpark in Wynot, I'm Michael Schumacher on Classic Hits 106.3 and 5-star streaming on YouTube. We'll be back right after these messages from the Beer Garden in Menno, Byerly Insurance, Rural Manufacturing, and Larson Carpet.
Minnow Beer Garden, where the game's always on, the drinks are cold, and the wings and pizzas are delicious. There's Chislic and burgers too. Gather your crew for a night of darts, pool, or casino fun. Or soak up the sun on the spacious outdoor area. Whether you're cheering on your favorite team or just looking for a laid-back hangout, Minnow Beer Garden is your destination. You won't go hungry or thirsty when you hang at the legendary Beer Garden in Menno.
Byerly Insurance would like to welcome new customers offering no obligation quotes. They will gladly travel to you with their mobile insurance service, doing business in Yankton, Lesterville, Menno, and surrounding areas of the South Central League. Give Rita Byerly or Brody Byerly a call at 605-387-5999 or go to ByerlyINS.com. When it comes to insurance for autos, home, farm, liability, commercial, work comp, or bonds, Byerly Insurance covers the bases.
Here are your starting lineups as introduced by PA announcer Joe Van Gore.
On your respective baseline. First of all, the starting 9 for the Wynot Expo.
So the starting 9 for Wynot. Leading off, number 31, third baseman Carson Weisler. Batting second, center fielder Jackson Sudbeck. Batting third, shortstop Jalen Weisler. Batting cleanup, right fielder Lee Hymas. Batting fifth and playing first is Peyton Weisler. Batting sixth and pitching, Landon Weisler. Batting seventh and playing second base, Zach Foxhoven. Catching and batting eighth, David Schenk. And batting ninth and playing left field will be Nate Weisler. So Weisler, Sudbeck, Weisler, Hymas, Weisler, Weisler, Foxhoven, Schenk, and Weisler. Earlier this season, the Expos did play a game with all Weislers. That was a special time for them. All right, other players for Wynot. You have Jude Cry, Nolan Ostrand, Austin Snedker, Ryan Hymas, Mason Miller, Devin Lammers, Scott Morrison, Dylan Heine, and Colin Wiesler. So that's your lineup for the Wynot Expos. And of course, Kyle Hymas. Kyle's always so helpful when we come here, so appreciate that. Wynot in their blue uniforms, blue jerseys with the white pants and blue pinstripes, red letters and numbers with white trim, and the kind of script W on the blue hat. So Lee Hymas, of course, like we said, is going to be inducted into the South Dakota Amateur Baseball Association Hall of Fame at the Class B tournament. Leading off for Tabor now will be Riley Roseshadle playing short, Joey Slama catching, Hunter Halleck at third base, cleanup hitter, first baseman Matt Brown, batting fifth, pitcher Chase Corton, batting sixth, center fielder Easton Mutter, playing second and batting seventh is Landon Schmidt. Batting eighth and playing left field is Sam Saba. And batting ninth and playing right field is Bo Roseshadle. Other players for the Tabor Bluebirds, you have Zach Sutera, Chris Sutera, Dean Call, Bryce Shazinski, Zach Chuka, Jackson Saba, Jeff Honor, Caden Hymas, and Trey Call, along with Legion players Landon Barish and Jace Topol.
Jackson Saba. Number 15, Jeff Honor. Number 21, Caden Hymes. Number 25, Trey Call. Number 3, Landon Barris. And number 11, Jace Topol. The Bluebirds are managed by Chris Sutera.
All right, so we'll get ready for the national anthem here. The umpires tonight, behind home plate, will be Andrew Scholl. Down the first baseline will be Mike Moran. And on the third baseline will be Jason Vaith.
And now, fans, please stand, if you're able, as the color guard from American Legion Post 31 of Wynot brings out the colors of our nation and the state of Nebraska. The members are Melvin Hymas, Terry Pinkelman, Jerry Pinkelman, and Dennis Promes. And now to honor America and those who protect our freedom at both home and abroad, we present Annika Hymas with the singing of our national anthem. Veterans and active military not in uniform may salute the flag. Please remain standing until the colors have been retired.
The dawn's early light, what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming.
That was Annika Hymas singing the national anthem. So doing a great job as the color guard is now being retired. You can see them there in the corner. The pole blocked the way, so I did not focus on them, but you can see the flag as it is being retired from the field. And as always, want to thank the veterans in my life. My daughter, Leela,
Thank
who is
you.
serving in the National Guard in North Carolina, serving her first, doing her first drill this week. She transferred from the South Dakota unit. My dad, Gary Schumacher, who served during the Vietnam War in the Army. My uncle, Leroy Schumacher, who served in the Army during the Korean War. My late uncle George Dyson, who served in the Air Force during the Korean War. And then my uncle Dick Harvey, who served in the U.S. Navy during the Civil War. Holy crap, during the Korean War. And then I also want to thank, remember Chris Keeler, who passed away a number of years ago from illnesses kind of contracted while serving in the Middle East. He was a player for the Crofton Blue Jays for a number of years, graduated with him from Crofton. He was a member of my wedding party, and just want to thank him for and remember him for his service and for what he did for us. Just a great guy. So I always want to thank Chris Keeler. All right, well, we're getting ready for some baseball from Terry Fox Oven Ballpark in Wynot. I'm Michael Schumacher. This is Classic Hits 106.3 and 5-star streaming on YouTube. And we hope you'll enjoy this production of District 6B Baseball. So again, on the mound right now, Chase Corton for Tabor. It's Chase Corton on the mound, Joey Slama catching. At first base, it's Matt Brown. At second base, Landon Schmidt. At shortstop, it's Riley Rothschadel. At third base, Hunter Halleck. From left to right in the outfield, Sam Saba, Easton Mutter, and Bo Rothschadel. Batting this inning for Wynot will be Carson Weisler, the third baseman, number 31. He'll be followed by center fielder, number 9, Jackson Sudbeck. And batting third, shortstop, number 22, Jalen Weisler. So it's Weisler, Sudbeck, and Weisler. Weisler will be coming up. Sudbeck is on deck. Who's on deck is brought to you by Chris Hay Grinding in Tyndall. All right, let's get ready to roll. This is amateur baseball. Winner goes, well, both winners are going to, both teams are going to the state tournament. Winner will be the champion. The loser will be representative number 1. Freeman is representative number 2, and Crofton is representative number 3. So Chase Corton looking in. First pitch is a ball. 1-0.
AC sunshine, 73 degrees, southeast winds at 16.
1 ball, no strikes. That's in for a strike. 1-1. So again, Andrew Scholl behind home plate. Mike Moran down the first baseline and Jason Vaith down the third baseline. Tabor wearing their white pants with navy blue jerseys. And that ball's chopped down to third. Fielded, juggled a little bit. Here's a throw down to first, though, in time to get Carson Weisler. So Halleck had a little bit of trouble right away grabbing that one, but does fine. That brings up Jackson Sudbeck. So Tabor again in their white pants, navy blue tops with light blue, varying shades of blue on the sleeves, white numbers with blue trim, and blue lettering with white trim. Here's the first pitch from Chase Corton to Jackson Sudbeck. That's in for a strike. 0-1. That's the ball, 1-1. Beautiful night out here for baseball. And they are watching in Freeman again, so we want to thank that. And again, text me, 605-661-5858. Wherever you're watching from, let me know. And we'll give you a shout-out. Give me your name, and I'll give you a shout-out because we love seeing where everybody's watching from. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Here's the pitch from Corton. That's chopped up the middle. Slow roller, fielded by Rothschadel. Will he have time? Just in time. Gets him by maybe a quarter of a step. Wow. Rothschadel took his time, fielded it cleanly, and took care of it. That is the second out of the inning. So 6-3 put up brings up shortstop Jalen Weisler. On deck is right fielder Lee Hymas. That pitch is chopped foul, a 1-1. That ball is chopped foul again down the third baseline. 0-2. So no balls, 2 strikes on Jalen Weisler. Two fairly quick outs so far. Ooh, just inside, 1-2. Corton winds and delivers. That is high, 2-2. Two balls, two strikes. That's grounded up the middle, and that is fielded cleanly by Rothschadel. Winds and delivers, and that throw pulls. That throw from Rothschadel did pull Matt Brown off of first. I don't think you can call that an error, though, because I'm not quite sure they would have gotten him, and it took a yeoman's effort just to get there. So we're going to give Wynot a hit on that one. And so that puts a runner on first for Lee Hymas. On deck is first baseman Peyton Weisler. Because Rothschild made a heck of an effort to get to that ball. He did not have time to stop, plant, and make a balanced throw. He had to throw it on the run. And so the throw did pull Matt Brown off of first, but you can't call an error on that. Here's the first pitch to Hymas. Ball one, 1-0. Did he call it a strike? Wow. He doesn't have much of an arm movement for that strike, so 0-1. Swing and a miss. Strike two, 0-2. Here, Kyle Hymas over there, cheerleading. And the family is listening from Glendale, Arizona again. I got a Go Expos. Here's Corton's 0-2 pitch to Hymas, fouled back, 0-2. So again, Jalen Weisler on first via an infield single. Nothing's been hit out of the infield yet off of Corton. Hymas would like to make that change that here. As Corton works from the stretch. Comes home. Ball one, 1-2. So 1 ball, 2 strikes, 1 on, 2 out here in the top of the first. Wynot would love to get on the board first. That pitch is in the dirt. Slama does a great job of keeping it in front of him, so evens the count at 2-2. So again, on deck is first baseman Peyton Weisler. That is in for a called strike 3. Lee Hymas disagrees, but that is the 3rd out of the inning. So in the inning, no runs, one
error, 1 left.
1 hit, no errors, 1 runner left on base. At the end of half an inning, it is Wynot nothing. Tabor's half an inning coming up. We'll be back after these messages from Larson Carpet and 402 Collision and Towing here on Classic Hits 106.3 and 5-star streaming from Terry Foxhoven Ballpark in Wynot. I'm Michael Schumacher.
Larson Carpet has the best flooring for your space, lifestyle, and budget. Family owned and operated since 1972, Larson Carpet offers a huge variety of flooring options, both in stock and special order. When you want the job done right, come to Larson Carpet. Located at 208 Walnut Street in the Meridian District, Larson Carpet is your friendly, family-owned flooring specialist that is right for you.
Need your car towed? A little body work done after your tow? 402 Collision and Towing can give you a tow, fix the dents, and detail the car out for you all at one time. When your car is back to perfection and you need your oil changed, 402 Collision and Towing can do that also. Talk about great service and perfection under one roof. That's what 402 Collision and Towing in Crofton can do for you. 402 Collision and Towing, offering the Crofton and surrounding area perfection when it comes to your car.
Welcome to the Bonesetter Chiropractic. I'm Dr. TJ Stotz. Our office is located at 215 Mulberry, Suite 9 in downtown Yankton. At our new and inviting clinic, we offer a hands-on approach, decompression traction, electrical stimulation, acupuncture, exercise and nutrition advice, as well as state-of-the-art examination techniques. The Bone Setter brings you comfort when there is discomfort. The Bone Setter, 215 Mulberry, Suite 9, or online at thebonesetter.com.
Welcome back to Terry Foxhoven Ballpark in Wynot. I'm Michael Schumacher on Classic Hits 106.3 and 5-star streaming on YouTube. Leading off for Tabor will be Riley Rothschadel. On deck is Joey Slama. Who's on deck is brought to you by Chris Hay Grinding in Tyndall, and followed by third baseman Hunter Halleck. Defensively for Wynot, Landon Weisler pitching, David Schenk catching. At first base is Peyton Weisler, Zach Foxhoven at second. Here's the first pitch from Landon Weisler. That's popped up, out of play, 0-1. At shortstop, you have Jalen Weisler. At third base, Carson Weisler. From left to right, it is Nate Weisler, Jackson Sudbeck, and Lee Hymas. So here's the 0-1 pitch coming from Landon Weisler. Pitch is popped off, foul, 0-2. So Landon Weisler trying to equal Chase Corton with a scoreless first inning. Here's the 0-2 pitch. Fouled straight back, count remains 0-2. Here's the 0-2 pitch again. Just out of the zone, 1-2. 1 ball, 2 strikes to the leadoff batter here in the bottom half of the first, Riley Rothschadel. Weisler winds and delivers. That ball's fouled off again, 1-2. That is ball 2, 2-2. Boy, now it's a full count. So Riley Rothschadel started out behind 0-2. He's worked his way back to a 3-2 full count. Payoff pitch from Landon Weisler coming up. That ball's hit into deep center field. And that will be a leadoff home run for Riley Rothschadel. Wow. Did not know if that was going to make it, but here you can see the replay on 5-star streaming on YouTube. So that is a home run for Riley Rothschadel. Quick 1-0 lead for Tabor.
And he'll receive a home run burger and fries certificate from Shorty's of Wynot.
Makes it 1-0 in favor of Tabor.
The catcher number 7, Joey Slama.
Brings up Joey Slama. On deck is third baseman Hunter Halleck. Pitch is taken out the right field line. That will be out of play, 0-1. Weisler winds and delivers again. That is low, evens the count at 1-1. So Slama's been a fixture on this Tabor team for a number of years. The sweeper didn't sweep, so it's 2-1. 2 balls, 1 strike. 1 run across on a solo home run by Riley Rothschadel. That ball is hit into center field as well, so Slama, with the second hit of the game for Tabor, puts a runner on first.
Batting third for Tabor, the third baseman, number 23, Hunter Halleck.
Brings up third baseman Hunter Halleck. On deck is first baseman Matt Brown.
Courtesy runner at first base for Tabor, number 12, Jackson Saba.
So Jackson Saba is the courtesy runner on first base for Joey Slama. Weisler will now work from the stretch. Comes home. That is low, 1-0. So Weisler struggling here with the first 2 batters. Hoping to get on the right track. You don't want to give up too many runs. Dig too big of a hole for your team. That is low, 2-0, and that gets away from Schenk, and that will let Saba advance. So runner is now at second with the count of 2-0. So 2 balls, no strikes. Zach Foxhoven weaves his way over to second base. And timeout taken. Home plate umpire coming over to get some extra baseballs. So Weisler towing at the rubber there. That ball swung on and missed for strike one, 2-1. So 2 balls, 1 strike on Hunter Halleck. Tabor with the 1-0 lead here in the bottom half of the first inning. Landon Weisler looks back at second as he comes set in the stretch. That is high, 3-1. And that is ball 4. So now runners at first and second as Halleck is aboard via a walk. So the first 3 batters have all gotten on. A home run for Rothschadel, a single for Slama, and a walk for Halleck. So that brings up first baseman Matt Brown with pitcher Chase Corton on deck. Swing and a miss, strike 1. That's in for a strike. 0-2. Now Landon Weisler was ahead of Riley Rothschadel 0-2. Rothschadel fought back to 3-2 before hitting that solo home run. So here's the 0-2 pitch coming up as Weisler comes home. That ball's laced on the right field line, but that will be foul. Count remains 0-2. Ball 1, 1-2. That is high, evens the count at 2-2. Weisler just scuffling here in the first inning. Like I said, a sub-2 ERA on the season. A whip of 1.5 or actually 1.3. So here's the 2-2 pitch. Ball's fouled off. Count remains 2-2. So 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 on, nobody out here in the bottom half of the first. Tabor with a 1-0 lead. Ball's chopped foul. Count remains 2-2. So Weisler is yet to record an out here in the first inning. This crowd is starting to fill in. Here's the pitch from Weisler, and that is outside, 3-2, just like what happened with Rothschadel. Ahead 0-2. They worked it up to a full count, so payoff pitch coming up. Again, runners on first and second, and Halleck and Slama. Halleck on first, while Jackson Saba on second. Weisler desperately needing an out here. Swing and a miss for strike 3. So Matt Brown goes down on strikes. So that is the first strikeout of the game for Landon Weisler. That'll bring up pitcher Chase Corton. On deck is center fielder Easton Mutter. So Chase Corton would love to help his cause here. One down. Again, runners on first and second. One run across on a home run by Riley Rothschadel. That ball's chopped up the middle. Fielded by Jalen Weisler at short. And there's the throw over to first, not in time. So they do get the runner at second, but now runners at first and third with 2 down here in the bottom half of the first as Corton is aboard by a fielder's choice.
The center fielder, number 16, Easton Mutter.
Brings up center fielder Easton Mutter with second baseman Landon Schmidt on deck. So if you're Landon Weisler, you hope if you can get this out, get it out of this inning with just the 1 run on the solo home run, you'd probably count your blessings. So runners at first and third, 2 down now. There's a no throw down to second. Oh, they tried to get him at third, but Saba is able to get back in as the runner does advance from first to second. They thought they might be able to draw a throw. So now runners at second and third, count as 1-0 on Easton Mutter. That is high, 2-0. Of course, first base is available, but you'd rather just get out of the inning here if you're Landon Weisler. That pitch is in for a strike, 2-1. 2 balls, 1 strike on Easton Mutter. Landon Weisler trying to get out of this inning with just 1 run coming across. That is fouled off. He reaches down for that one. 2-2. So deuces are wild. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 on, 2 out here in the bottom half of the first inning. As Legion player Landon Schmidt is on deck. Landon Weisler winds. Oh, and that's going to be high inside. 3-2. It's a third full count of this inning for Weisler. Oh, and that ends up hitting Mutter. So Mutter is aboard. Bases are loaded for Landon Schmidt.
Batting 7th for Tabor, the second baseman, number 8, Landon Schmidt.
Brings up second baseman Landon Schmidt, number 8, in a Legion uniform. Ooh, first pitch not in the zone, 1-0. Nowhere to put him. So again, Weisler struggling. That one's in the dirt. Nice job by Schenk to keep it from going to the backstop. 2-0. So bases are full. 2 down. 2-0 count to Landon Schmidt. Oh, that is low for ball 3. So if you're Schmidt, you got to be looking for something over the plate, but you don't necessarily swing, and that is ball 4. And Landon Weisler has walked in run number 2. Just 2 hits in this inning, home run and a single, but the walks, 2 walks and a hit by a pitch has scored another run. As Jackson Saba scores, running for Joey Slama. Chase Corton's at third, Easton Mutter at second, and Landon Schmidt at first. And here's just a team meeting at the mound, just kind of reassuring Landon. But 2 down, bases still full, and that brings up left fielder Sam Saba. Ball one. That is 7 consecutive balls pitched by Landon Weisler. 2 runs across already in this inning. 8 players have come to bat. That's in for a strike. 2-1. So 2 balls, 1 strike. Weisler with the bases loaded, winds and delivers. That pitch is hit into right field. Lee Hymas camps underneath, makes the catch for the final out of the inning. But what an inning. In the inning, 2 runs on 2 hits, no errors, 3 runners left on base. After 1, it's Tabor 2, Wynot nothing. We'll be back with the bottom half of the with the second inning after these messages from the Corner Nugget and High Street Insurance.
Friendly place to have a drink with friends and family. Darts, pool, big screen TV, nice, friendly, hospitable staff, great decor for family and community gatherings. How about 5 stars? Tremendous place for local people to meet. These are just a few of the comments about the Corner Nugget in Lesterville. Have you been there yet? If not, sounds like you should head to the Corner Nugget in Lesterville. Music, cold beverages, and your favorite drink mixed just right. The Corner Nugget is a proud sponsor of the Lesterville Bronx. Stop in and catch a game on the big screen.
High Street Insurance and Financial in Crofton has what you need for all your insurance needs. Whether it's auto, home, farm, crop, commercial, life, or health, they have the right products and the right service you're looking for all your insurance needs. Call High Street Insurance in Crofton at 402-388-4772 or stop in at 1201 West 2nd Street in Crofton. A proud sponsor of this sports broadcast.
Welcome back to Terry Foxhoven Ballpark in Wynot, Nebraska on Classic Hits 106.3 and 5-star streaming on YouTube as we continue our coverage of District 6B baseball. I'm Michael Schumacher, and we enter the second inning with Tabor leading Wynot 2-0. Batting this inning for the Expos will be Peyton Weisler, Landon Weisler, and Zach Foxhoven. Peyton Weisler, the left-handed batter, steps into the box. Here's the first pitch from Corton, swung on and missed, 0-1. So Landon Weisler is on deck. Who's on deck is brought to you by Chris Hay Grinding in Tyndall. All right, Chris Hay Grinding in Tyndall. 0-1 to Peyton Weisler. Wynot looking to get those runs back? Swing and a miss. Strike 2, 0-2. Now this ball field is 300 feet down the right field line, 305 down the left field line, and 400 to straightaway center. So nice dimensions here. And that is ball 1, 1-2. That is fouled off down the third baseline, and that is caught over there. Caught by Hunter Halleck for the first out of the inning.
Batting 6 for the Expos, the pitcher number 14, Landon Weisler.
So 1 down, brings up pitcher Landon Weisler. On deck is Zach Foxhoven. That ball is laced into deep center field, but they go back and, made it a little bit tricky, but still fielded out there cleanly by center fielder Easton Mutter. So just a couple of pitches, and we have 2 down here in the top half of the second. Bringing up second baseman, Legion player for Crofton, Zach Foxhoven. First pitch in for a strike, 0-1. So 1 ball, 1 strike. Ball 2, 2-1. To Zach Foxhoven. On deck, David Schenk. That ball chopped down the third baseline. Foul, 2-2. So 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 out, nobody on here in the top half of the second. Wynot trying to get a run back? They'd love to get Foxhoven on and have Schenk knock him across. Ball's popped foul. And that count will remain 2-2.
Security Bank of Wynot, Fordyce, and Hartington.
That is fouled off as well. 2-2. So Foxhoven battling through, fouling off. Got down 0-2 or got down 0-1, then made it 1-1, 2-1, 2-2, and now 3 foul balls. So 2 balls, 2 strikes. As Corton going through pretty quickly. Pitching with some ease tonight. Here's the pitch to Foxhoven. That's fouled off. Count remains 2-2. That's ball 3, full count now. That pitch is lifted down the left field line, and that will be foul. So count remains 3-2. Three balls, 2 strikes, 2 out. Here's the pitch from Corton. And that hits Foxhoven. It was a ball either way. So Foxhoven is aboard. David Schenk will come up. So Foxhoven is aboard, being hit by a pitch. And David Schenk is up to bat with left fielder Nate Weisler on deck. So now Schenk has to take off the shin guards. Steps up.
Batting 8 for the Expos, the catcher number 3, David Schenk.
So Schenk's family is watching. He asked if it was going to be on YouTube. I think he texted him, so he's stepping up here. Here's the pitch from Corton. That's lifted into center field, and that will be caught for the 3rd out of the inning. So in the inning, no runs, no hits, no errors, 1 runner left on base. At the end of an inning and a half, it is Tabor 2, Wynot nothing. We'll be back with the bottom half of the second after these messages on Classic Hits 106.3 and 5-star streaming on YouTube. From Terry Foxhoven Ballpark in Wynot, I'm Michael Schumacher. I want to thank our sponsors, including Cedar Security Bank and Whitmire and Associates.
Everyone wants a bank that cares about them to be more than just an account with a balance. Cedar Security Bank is committed to getting to know their customers and answering all their financial questions with honest answers about their money and investments. Cedar Security Bank has locations in Fordyce, Hartington, and Wynot with convenient 24-hour ATMs in all 3 locations. Stop in and visit Cedar Security Bank when you have questions about your accounts. Cedar Security Bank, member FDIC.
Hitting it off with the right real estate broker can be tricky sometimes. You want a broker who's experienced and knows what they're doing, creative to properly advertise, determined to get the job done for you, and honest so you know you can trust them. Bridget Whitmire's repeat real estate customers prove that she fits all of those. So when you are ready to buy or sell your next property, look up Bridget Whitmire at Whitmire & Associates in Fordyce, Nebraska. To see all my listings, visit whitmireassociates.com.
At Menno State Bank, our team is dedicated to the traditions of service. We offer a wide array of products to accommodate all your financial needs, including checking and savings accounts, CDs, loans, IRAs, debit cards, credit cards, a 24-hour ATM, and online banking. Be sure to inquire about our competitive rates. Menno State Bank, member FDIC, proud to serve the Menno community and surrounding areas.
Welcome back to Terry Foxhoven Ballpark in Wynot. Leading off this inning for Tabor will be Bo Rothschadel, then the top of the order with Riley Rothschadel and Joey Slama. Riley Rothschadel is on deck. Who's on deck? Brought to you by Chris Hay Grinding in Tyndall. First pitch to Bo Rothschadel, swung on and missed, 0-1. So again, right now Tabor leads 2-0. They got 2 runs, one on a solo home run by Riley Rothschadel, and then they manufactured the other run, loading the bases and getting a hit by a pitch that or a walk that brought that run home. So 0-2 now to Bo Rothschadel. That is low. Ball 1-2. So again, the winner of this game will be the champion and the top seed coming out of South Central League, out of the District 6B, I should say. Here's the 1-2 pitch. That ball is hit into center field. That is fielded out there by Jackson Sudbeck for the first out of the inning. The loser will be the first representative, and then Wynot is the second, or Freeman is the second representative, and Crofton is the third representative. And after this game, they will hold the draft. And here's the first pitch to Riley Rothschadel out of the zone, 1-0, where you can pick up players from teams that are not going to state. A lot of talent out there. That ball is high, 2-0. And I'm sure some might have plans. Maybe they'll say they're not available, but there's some good players on each of those teams. Here's the 1-0 pitch, or 2-0 pitch, and it's now 3-2-1. So 2 balls, 1 strike, 1 down here in the bottom of the second. That's in for a strike, 2-2. Swing and miss for strike 3, and that is the second out of the inning. Weisler seems to have gotten a little bit of his mojo back. That is the second strikeout of the game for Landon Weisler. That'll bring up catcher Joey Slum. So the scoreboard was wrong. Okay, they had one that I didn't have. All right, so here's the 3-2 pitch, and that's foul tipped and kept, so same result. All right.
Now for Tabor, the catcher, Joey Slama.
So Joey Slama comes up. Well, I wondered, I had it 2-0. They had it 2-1 up there. I was like, I didn't think I missed a pitch, but it's been known to happen. So that brings up Joey Slama, the catcher, with 2 down, nobody on. That pitch gets past Schink, 1-0. 1 ball, no strikes. Again, Slama, one of those that's been on this, a mainstay on this team, along with Chase Corton, Hunter Halleck, Bo Rothschadel. Ball is inside, 2-0. Of course, Riley Rothschadel's been on for a few years now. He's at Augustana, was a great Legion player of the year a few years ago. Chase Corton was the player of the year in his day, too. I think Slama might have been as well. All of a sudden, it's ball 3, 3-0. So Weisler on the mound, winds and delivers. That is ball 4. So Slama is aboard. Expect a runner forward to him.
Baseman, Hunter Halleck.
So I believe Saba is going to be running for him. That'll bring up number 23, the third baseman, Hunter Halleck. And Jackson Saba out there running for Joey Slama. So with the runner on first, Weisler pitching to Halleck. That is high, 1-0. Beautiful night out here in Wynot for baseball. A little breeze. You got the cornfield in right field, just like a field of dreams here. It's about 7:37 in the evening. That ball bounces to Schenk. And Saba's going to make it down to second on ball 2, 2-0. So Saba was the second run that scored for Tabor as Riley Rothschadel scored on the solo home run to get us to our 2-0 score that we see here in the bottom half of the second. That pitch is popped up. That's going to be taken by Peyton Weisler, the first baseman, and that will be the third out of the inning. No runs, no hits, no errors, 1 runner left on base. After 2, it's Tabor 2, Wynot nothing. We'll be back with the third inning after these messages from our sponsors, including Tabor Lumber Co-op and Core Trust Bank.
Since 1958, Tabor Lumber Co-op, located in Tabor and Lesterville, has been your trusted partner in agricultural service and supply. Need an egg building? We do any size, any frame. And in the field, we're with you every step of the way. With cropland seed, liquid and dry fertilizer, custom spraying, soil, tissue, and grid sampling, and precision mapping. This is more than just a co-op. This is Tabor Lumber Co-op. Stop by today. We're here to help you grow.
Tabor Lumber Co-op is a proud sponsor of South Central League Baseball.
Rewarding you for doing everyday things, like buying gas, shopping, and dining local. Does your bank do that? If you're a Core Trust customer, your bank does that. When you open a premium or preferred checking account and meet requirements, you get access to Core Trust perks powered by Bazing, an exclusive network offering 300,000 plus deals and discounts on dining, shopping, travel, fuel, and more. Visit us online, in person, or by phone. Terms and conditions apply. Member FDIC.
Welcome back to Classic Hits 106.3 and 5-star streaming. Our coverage of District 6B baseball as Wynot leads off here in the third inning, trailing Tabor 2-0. It'll be Nate Weisler, then the top of the order with Carson Weisler and Jackson Sudbeck. First pitch of the third inning from Chase Corton is a ball, 1-0. So on deck is Carson Weisler. Who's on deck is brought to you by Chris Hay Grinding in Tyndall. Quickly 2-0. 2-0 on Nate Weisler. That's in for a strike. 2-1. Swing and a miss. Strike two. Evens the count at 2-2. So Chase Corton pitching pretty well. He has one hit by a pitch and a single. Otherwise, no other base runners through two. That ball's hit to right field, though. That could be trouble, and that'll be a single for Nate Weisler. So Wynot with their first hit of the game? No, because Weisler did not get a hit. They called an error on that one. I apologize. So that is the first hit of the game for Wynot, and that'll bring up the top of the order and third baseman, Carson Weisler. Weisler will be followed by center fielder Jackson Sudbeck. That ball is hit down the left field line. Will it stay fair? And it will. And Nate Weisler rounds second. He's heading into third, and he will stay there. So runners on second and third following the double by Carson Weisler. So all of a sudden, Wynot with back-to-back hits have the tying run on second.
Fielder Jackson Sudbeck.
That brings up Jackson Sudbeck. Sudbeck grounded out to short. His first time up. On deck is shortstop Jalen Weisler. All right, so the first two runners are aboard for Wynot, and that first pitch to Sudbeck is a ball, 1-0. Ball two, 2-0. Sudbeck, one of the leading hitters on this team, steps in there. That's a foul ball, 2-1. He started to swing just a little bit. I think it notched off the end of the bat. So 2 balls, 1 strike. Here's the pitch from Corton. That's a ball, 3-1. So first base is open. Runners at second and third. Nobody out here in the top of the third. Wynot trailing Tabor 2-0. That is ball 4. So now runners at every base, and that brings up Jalen Weisler. Weisler reached on an error. I thought it was a hit, but the official scorer called it an error. On deck, right fielder Lee Hymas. That's in for a strike, 0-1. So bases are loaded. That ball's chopped past third base into left field. And Carson Weisler rounding third, coming home, and there'll be 2 runs across and runners at first and second on the third hit of the inning. Wynot has tied it up at 2. 2-2 on their 3 hits here in inning number 3. So that is a single by Weisler, puts Sudbeck at second. Carson Weisler scores. Nate Weisler scores. That brings up right fielder Lee Hymas, who struck out looking his first time up. On deck is first baseman Peyton Weisler. That ball's in for a strike, 0-1. So here's the 0-2 pitch to Lee Hymas. That ball's chopped down the third baseline, and that is foul. Count remains 0-2. So no balls, 2 strikes. That ball's hit up the middle into center field, and that will score a run. As Jackson Sudbeck rounds third, so runners at first and second on the single by Hymas gives Wynot their first lead of the game. As Sudbeck crosses home plate, Wynot now leads 3-2 on the back of 4 hits. As Chris Sutera wants to come out and talk with his pitcher. So we'll take a quick timeout as well. This timeout brought to you by Wynot Oil. We'll be back from Terry Foxhoven Ballpark in Wynot. This is Classic Hits 106.3 and 5-star streaming on YouTube. Wynot leads Tabor 3-2.
The Wynot Oil Company in Wynot, Nebraska. Call them for all your farm delivery needs like fuel, grease, and oil. The Wynot Oil Company can also assist you with your auto and ag tire needs, whether you need new or just a repair. They now offer hydraulic hose repair and sell acetylene tanks. Find knowledgeable technicians to get your ag and automotive repairs done right. The Wynot Oil Company has a convenience store that carries light groceries, sandwiches, and more. Wynot Oil Company, a proud sponsor of this sports broadcast.
Welcome back to Classic Hits 106.3 and 5-star streaming's continued coverage of District 6B baseball from Terry Foxhoven Ballpark in Wynot. I'm Michael Schumacher. First pitch coming to Peyton Weisler is popped up. Hunter Halleck at third gets under it, and that is the first out of the inning. So 1 down with runners on first and second.
The pitcher, Landon Weisler.
That brings up pitcher Landon Weisler, who would really like to help his cause here. Try to get a run or two across right now. On deck is second baseman Zach Foxhoven. So after the meeting on the mound, Chase Corton gets a 1-pitch fly out. That is low, 1-0. So Tabor took a lead right in the very first inning, bottom of the first inning. Wynot has now taken the lead 3-2 here in the top of the third. Ball 2, 2-0. So again, on deck is second baseman Legion player Zach Foxhoven. Runners on first and second. Jalen Weisler on first. Lee Hymas on first. Jalen Weisler on second. That pitch is in for a strike. 2-1. So Corton working from the stretch. Comes home. That ball's chopped up the middle. Rothschadel bobbles it for a second. And they do just get Hymas at second, but that is it. They do not get a double play. So now 2 down with runners at first and third as Landon Weisler is aboard via the fielder's choice. So Landon Weisler at first, Jalen Weisler at third, bringing up second baseman Zach Foxhoven, who was hit by a pitch on ball 4 back in the second inning. So again, why not leading 3-2? You know they'd love to get an extra run or two because this Tabor offense is high-powered. So don't expect to hold them to 2 runs. So here's Chase Corton working from the stretch, coming home, and that is inside and low, 1-0. Here's the 1-0 pitch to Foxhoven. Runner takes off, and runners will be at second and third as Weisler is at second now. They again tried to maybe draw a throw, and there was not one, so the count is now 2-0. 2 down, runners at second and third. A hit to the outfield would probably score both. Weisler has good speed at second. That is chopped down over to short. Throw over to first is not in time, and a run scores. And that will probably be another error. And so that makes the score 4-2 in favor of Wynot. I don't think it was an error because it took a yeoman's effort to get it and make the play at all. But official score ruled one before that I didn't think was an error. So Jalen Weisler comes across to score. Landon Weisler is at third, and Zach Foxhoven at first on an error.
For Wynot, the catcher, David Schenk.
So that brings up catcher David Schenk. Schenk flew out to center field his first time up. 4-2, Wynot with the lead. That is ball one, 1-0. Swing and a miss, and the runner Foxhoven heads down to second. So runners now at second and third. Count is 1-1 on Schenk. Again, another one with the hit to the outfield should score 2. We'll see if they're able to get one here. That is out of the zone, 2-1. Ball 3, 3-1. So again, Wynot has scored 4 runs this inning on 4 hits, their first 4 hits of the game. And here's the 3-1 pitch to Schenk. And that is ball 4. David Schenk is now aboard. Bases are loaded for Nate Weisler, who started things off this inning.
For the Expos, the left fielder, Nate Weisler. Courtesy runner at first base for Wynot, number 21, Colin Weisler.
So Colin Weisler heads out to first base to be the courtesy runner for Schenk. First pitch to Nate Weisler is out of the zone, 1-0. I'm sure Chris Suter is going to try to let Chase Corton work out of this jam, but you just wonder how far you can let it go sometimes. That's strike one, 1-1. Of course, Shazinski pitched Tuesday night, so probably not available quite yet. That pitch is lifted high into shallow center field. Second base goes out and makes the catch for the third out of the inning. But in the inning,
Top of the third inning.
4 runs
4 runs.
on 4 hits or 5. Let's see.
Hits.
They're going to say it's 5 hits. No errors.
Left on base.
With no errors and 3 left on base. After 2.5, it's Wynot 4, Tabor 2. We'll be back with the bottom of the third after these messages on Classic Hits 106.3 and 5-star streaming on YouTube from Menno Olivet Care Center and Integrity Insurance. From Terry Foxhoven Ballpark in Wynot, I'm Michael Schumacher.
Since 1971, the Menno Olivet Care Center in Menno, South Dakota has been providing skilled nursing, long-term, assisted living, rehab, and respite care in their 49-bed facility. The staff at Menno Olivet Care Center provides a high quality of compassionate care guided by their mission statement, responding to and sharing God's love through the service to people. Join the nursing or CNA staff by applying to the Menno Olivet Care Center's Facebook page. Finding the right insurance is about considering all of your insurance options. At Integrity Insurance Group in Wynot and Yankton, they help their clients to have more opportunities with multiple insurance companies under one roof to make sure that they get the right coverage for the best price. Contact Brandy or Ivy and start insuring with Integrity today. Integrity Insurance Group is a proud sponsor of this sports broadcast. IntegrityInsuranceGroup.com.
Welcome back to Classic Hits 106.3 and 5-star streaming's coverage of District 6B baseball. Leading off this inning for Tabor will be Matt Brown. On deck is Chase Corton, who's on deck, brought to you by Chris Hay Grinding. He'll be followed by Easton Mutter. First pitch is a ball to Matt Brown. And now pitching for Wynot, it is Scott Morrison. Ball 2, 2-0. Now remember, both of these teams are guaranteed a trip to the state tournament. So, a win or a loss isn't the end of the world. So here's the 2-0 pitch from Morrison. Ball is lifted high, foul, and Peyton Weisler gives chase, and he will not be able to get to it.
That's a $1 foul ball, sponsored by Cedar Security Bank of Wynot.
Count goes to 2-1. 2 balls, 1 strike. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss. Strike 2, 2-2. So pitching, Scott Morrison on the season pitched 4 2/3 innings. So basically trying to get him a little bit of work before the state tournament, I would think. So that's ball 3, 3-2. So Morrison had 4 2/3 innings of work. With a 4.5 ERA, and that is a walk to Matt Brown.
Now playing left field, number 31, Carson Weisler.
So Carson Weisler moves to left field.
And the Bluebirds, the pitcher, Chase Corton.
So Carson Weisler moves to left field, and Landon Weisler moves to third base. Brings in Scott Morrison. All right, so first pitch to Chase Corton is a ball. 1-0 with a runner on first. Ball's grounded over to third, fielded cleanly there. Here's the throw over to first for the only play they had. Peyton Weisler is able to dig that throw out of the dirt. So 1 down here in the bottom half of the third. As Matt Brown moves over to second. So that brings up center fielder Easton Mutter with Landon Schmidt on deck. First pitch in for a strike, 0-1. That pitch is popped up. Zach Foxhoven at second gets underneath it, and he will catch that for the second out of the inning. Matt Brown is unable to advance from second. That brings up second baseman Landon Schmidt. Schmidt walked at his first at-bat. On deck is Sam Saba. So again, Wynot with a 4-2 lead here in the bottom half of the third inning. First pitch in for a strike, 0-1. Ball's chopped over to third, fielded cleanly by Landon Weisler over to first for the third out of the inning. So, 5-3 put out, no runs for Tabor, no hits.
After 3 innings in the District 6B Championship.
No errors, 1 runner left on base. After 3, it's Wynot 4, Tabor 2. We'll be back with the 4th inning after these messages from our sponsors, including Hoots Bar and Renewable Ag Products.
At Renewable Ag Products, their business is based on customer relationships and customer service. They coordinate distiller supplies to provide area livestock producers with their commodity needs by working closely with multiple ethanol and processing plants within their region. Their office trades a core group of feed ingredients that include modified distillers, wet distillers, dry distillers, grain, corn syrup, soybean meal, soy hull pellets, corn gluten feed, and corn screening. Call Renewable Ag Products and talk with Henry or Frank. They do their best to make your purchasing decisions easy.
Want your party to be a hoot? Then have it at Hoots Bar in Freeman, where they are always looking for a great group to party with. The staff at Hoots says stop in and try the selection of beers on tap or use the easy drive-up window for off sale. But the Hoots team would rather see you join them inside. Hoots Bar in Freeman offers darts, lottery, and golf. You can also relax with your cocktail in the outdoor beer garden. Hungry? Order up a delicious Hoots Bar Pizza. Fun, friendly, helpful staff is waiting for you at Hoots Bar in Freeman. See you at Hoots.
If your car can't get you all the way home or just needs regular maintenance, call Downtown Auto Service in Crofton with a commitment to providing you with honest quality service with reasonable prices. With the technology and expertise Downtown Auto Service in Crofton provides, your car will have the best care imaginable. When it comes to your vehicle, you want the best, and Downtown Auto Service in Crofton is not only the best downtown, it's the best all around. That's Downtown Auto Service in Crofton.
All right, first pitch of the fourth inning is a ball to Carson Weisler. To be Carson Weisler, Jackson Sudbeck on deck. Who's on deck is brought to you by Chris Hay Grinding in Tyndall. Here's pitch number 2, and that's in for a strike, 1-1. Now pitching is Landon Barris, for the Legion player for Tabor, sorry. That is low, 2-1. I believe Chase Corton moved out to center. And I believe Easton Mutter came out. I didn't see that he moved anywhere. So I believe Chase Corton is now out in center, and Landon Barris will be playing for Easton Mutter, would be my guess. 3-1 pitch, fouled off, 3-2.
And kids, that's a $1 foul ball, sponsored by Cedar Security Bank of Wynot, Fordyce, and Hardington.
So Wynot with a 4-2 lead here in the top of the fourth. Barris winds and delivers. That is ball 4. So Barris walks his first batter.
For the Expos, the center fielder
brings up center fielder Jackson Sudbeck. Sudbeck walked his last time up. He's 0 for 1. Then on deck is shortstop Jalen Weisler. Ball 1, 1-0. That's in for strike, 1-1. So 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 on. Nobody out here in the top of the fourth. Wynot with a 4-2 lead, looking to try to extend that. As you know, Tabor's offense is pretty high-powered, averaging 10 runs a game. And that ball is hit into shallow center field, and that will drop for a hit. So runners at first and second now on a single.
Defensive changes for Tabor. Now in center field, number 20, Chase Corton. And in left, number 16, Easton Mutter.
So Easton Mutter moved over to left field and took out Sam Saba. So I believe Landon Barris now will be in Sam Saba's batting location. Spot in the order. All right, so Jalen Weisler is up. First pitch is a ball, 1-0. As Slama almost got Carson Weisler hanging off a second too far. As Weisler was getting ready to try to bunt. So here's the 1-0 pitch. That ball is hit into shallow center field, and that is caught out there. Nice play out there in center field by Corton. So now 1 down. Brings up right fielder Lee Hymas. Hymas singled his last time up. Struck out in the first, 1 for 2. If you're a Freeman fan or a Menno fan, the Scotland Menno Freeman Canastota 79ers fell to Parkston Legion Post 194, 5-2. First pitch to Lee Hymas is a ball, 1-0. Yankton Post 12 lost earlier today to Harrisburg, and so Harrisburg are the champions. But Yankton will be part of the Central Region for the American Legion Tournament. That ball's hit right up the middle, and that will put runners at first and second, and a run will score as Carson Weisler comes around to score, making it 5-2 in favor of Wynot on the 6th hit of the game the 7th hit of the game for Wynot.
Why not the first baseman?
6th hit of the game. That brings up Peyton Weisler with Lee Hymas on first, Jackson Sudbeck on second, and Carson Weisler having scored 5-2. Peyton Weisler, the left-handed first baseman, coming up. Here's the first pitch. That is high, 1-0. That's in for a strike, 1-1. So again, a reminder, we will be covering all of the state tournament baseball games for South Central League teams. Those will be on ESPN Radio and 5-star streaming on YouTube. That'll be audio only, though. We cannot do video streaming. That pitch is out of the zone, 2-1. So again, it'll be on ESPN Radio, 101.5 FM, 1570 AM, or kvtk.com, and on 5-star streaming on YouTube, audio only. Here's the 2-1 pitch from Barris to Weisler, grounded over to third. Oh! Hunter Halleck tried to make the play, couldn't, and so that will be an error. That'll be the second error of the game for Tabor, and that will put runners on every base, and that brings up Landon Weisler, the new third baseman.
For the Expos, the third baseman, Landon Weisler.
So Peyton Weisler at first, Lee Hymas at second, and Jackson Sudbeck at third. As Landon Weisler comes up, he's reached on a fielder's choice and flown out to center field. Ball one, 1-0. That ball's in the dirt, gets away from Slama, and runners will all advance, and that'll make the score 6-2 with a 2-0 count now. Runners at second and third. As Sudbeck comes across to score, Lee Hymas moves to third, and Peyton Weisler moves down to second. So Landon Weisler now ahead in the count, 2-0, as Landon Barris is pitching. That is high, 3-0. That's in for a strike, 3-1. Second baseman Zach Foxhoven is on deck. That pitch is laced down the right field line, but that is foul. So full count, 3-2. Payoff pitch for Landon Barris coming up to Landon Weisler. Battle of the Landons. Michael Landon Jr. That pitch is hit into right field, and that will be caught out there by Bo Rothschadel. Runner tags up. Lee Hymas tags up from third, making it 7-2 in favor of Wynot. Peyton Weisler runs back to second, and that is the second out of the inning. But that will be a sacrifice for Landon Weisler. So Wynot has put 3 runs across this inning on 2 hits. That brings up Zach Foxhoven. Foxhoven with a single in the third and hit by a pitch in the second, so he is 1 for 1. That pitch is in for a strike. On deck is catcher David Schenk. Here's the 0-1 pitch. That is high, 1-1. So runner at second with Zach Foxhoven. At the bat, here's Landon Barris. Comes home, and that is popped up into shallow right field. That could be trouble. Nope, Bo Rothschadel finds it and picks it up for the third out of the inning. But in the inning, you have 3 runs on 2 hits. One error with 2 left on base.
Correction, 3 runs on 2 hits, 1 error.
With at the end of 3.5 is Wynot 7, Tabor 2. We'll be back with the bottom half of the fourth after these messages from Central Farmers Cooperative and Elkhorn Valley Bank on Classic Hits 106.3 and 5-star streaming on YouTube. From Terry Foxhoven Ballpark in Wynot, I'm Michael Schumacher.
Central Farmers Cooperative is more than just a business, they're your local partner in success. Whether you're in need of quality seed, reliable chemicals, or expert crop advice, they have you covered. With years of expertise, they know what it takes to help you grow your farm, your future, and your community. Stop by today or call Chris at 605-660-4146 and let them help you grow. Central Farmers Cooperative in Irene, your trusted farm partner for 2025 and beyond.
Does your bank have banker hours? This is Lynn Peterson. At Elkhorn Valley Bank, we offer extended drive-through transaction hours with our teller on demand. Just simply pull up, push a button, and a live teller will pop up on the screen, ready to assist you with a wide variety of banking transactions. And our teller on demand is available weekdays 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. and Saturdays 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. How about those banker hours? Teller on demand exclusively at Elkhorn Valley Bank, Yankton.
Welcome back to Classic Hits 106.3 and 5-star streaming. As we enter the bottom of the fourth, Scott Morrison's first pitch to Landon Barris is a ball, 1-0. On deck is Bo Rothschadel. Who's on deck is brought to you by Chris Haygrinding in Tyndall, and then followed by Riley Rothschadel, the shortstop. Swing and a miss. Strike one, 1-1. So Wynot leads 7-2 here in the bottom half of the fourth inning. That ball's chopped foul, 1-2 count to Barris. So Wynot's put together back-to-back big innings, 4 runs in the third, 3 runs in the fourth to take this 7-2 lead. But with Tabor's offense, there is no safe lead as they average 10 runs per game this season. Here's the 1-2 pitch from Morrison. That is in for a called strike 3, and that'll be the first out of the inning. So 1 up, 1 down. That brings up right fielder Bo Rothschadel, who made some nice defensive plays out in right field in the last inning. Flew out to center his first time up. That ball is laced into right field. Lee Hymas coming over, and he will not be able to make the catch. And that will be a single for Bo Rothschadel. That's the third hit of the game for Tabor. That'll bring up shortstop Riley Rothschadel. Rothschadel is 1 for 2 with a strikeout and a solo home run to lead off the first inning for Tabor. So Scott Morrison's pitch, hit down the first baseline. Weisler fields it there, throws to second for 1, and safe at first, so they do not get the double play, but they do get the lead runner. So Riley Rothschadel is aboard via a fielder's choice. So 2 down with Rothschadel at first for Joey Slama, the catcher. Slama is 2 for 2.
For the Bluebirds, the catcher Joey Slama.
1 for 1 with a walk. So Morrison works from the stretch with Riley Rothschadel on first. Zach Foxhoven positioning himself close to second. Slama awaits the pitch as Morrison winds and delivers. That's chopped over to short, and they get over to second for the easy putout. So in the inning, no runs, 1 hit, no errors, 1 runner left on base.
After 4 innings of the District 6B Championship.
At the end of 4, it's Wynot 7, Tabor 2. We'll be back with the 5th inning after these messages from Parker Hannafin and Greg Davis Excavation on Classic Hits 106.3 and 5-star streaming on YouTube. From Terry Foxhoven Ballpark in Wynot, I'm Michael Schumacher.
Parker Hannafin in Yankton has proudly produced filters in their communities for 40 years. With a mission to protect their customers' engines and equipment from first to last use, you know you can trust Parker Hannafin. They have superb product quality, an extensive distribution network, and the industry's broadest product line. All of this in 40 years of doing what they're good at. That's Parker Hannafin in Yankton. Check out their website to see their wide variety of products and how they can help you. Parker Hannafin in Yankton is a proud supporter of all South Central League athletes. If you're in need of concrete or excavation work this year, call on Greg Davis Excavation and Concrete of Irene. Greg wishes the Irene Cardinals amateur baseball team good luck in tonight's game and all season long. Greg Davis Excavation and Concrete, a proud supporter of all area activities and the Irene Cardinals baseball team. If you want it done the right way, call Greg Davis Excavation and Concrete, 605-661-0425. Insurance can be complicated, but it doesn't have to be when you insure with Midwest Insurance Agency, located at 3016 Piper Street in Yankton. Through 3 generations, the Devine family has been awarded numerous awards and has spent many hours serving the community.
Welcome back to Terry Foxhoven Ballpark in Wynot. I'm Michael Schumacher on Classic Hits 106.3 and 5-star streaming on YouTube. Leading off for Wynot this inning, David Schenk, and he takes that down to third, fielded there by Halleck, and that will be another error. And so that'll be the third error of the game for Tabor. That'll put Schenk aboard, and that'll bring up Nate Weisler, who was waiting on deck. No, that'll bring up Scott Morrison, sorry. Scott Morrison.
Base for Wynot, number 21, Colin Weisler.
Colin Weisler will be the courtesy runner for David Schenk.
Your attention, please.
So Scott Morrison was on deck. Scott Morrison who was on deck. Who's on deck? Brought to you by Chris Hay Grinding in Tyndall. Then Carson Weisler to follow. First pitch is a strike, 0-1. So Landon Barris entering his second inning of relief, gave up 2 hits, 3 runs on 2 hits and an error last inning. Walked 1. That pitch is out of the zone. 1-1 to Scott Morrison in his first at-bat. On deck is the top of the order and Carson Weisler. Here's the 1-1 pitch. That is chopped over to second, and that will get through. We'll see. And here's going to be a throw to third, and that is not in time, and that will get past the third baseman. Runners will be at second and third. So Scott Morrison with a single. I'm not going to call that an error. That's the 7th hit of the game for Wynot. So Scott Morrison now at second. Colin Weisler at third, running for David Schenk. So runners at second and third. Nobody out as Carson Weisler, the left fielder, now steps up. Carson Weisler is 1 for 2 with a walk, a triple, and 2 runs scored. First pitch to Carson Weisler was a strike, 0-1. It's in for a strike, 0-2. So again, like I said, Tabor averaged 10 runs per game. So, Wynot would love to get a couple more runs on at least. And that ball is foul. 0-2 is the count. So Carson Weisler is up, nobody out. Jackson Sudbeck on deck with runners on second and third. That pitch is high, 1-2. Ball is chopped over to short, fielded there. Throw to first is in time for the first out of the inning. So runners stay at second and third. As Riley Rothschadel fielded that up at short, able to take the runners back and get the throw over to first. So 1 down brings up Jackson Sudbeck. That pitch is high, 1-0. So really playing not to allow any more runs. So every infielder is in the infield. They're not in the dirt. They're all touching grass. Here's the pitch from Barris. That is chopped foul, 1-1. So 1 ball, 1 strike to Jackson Sudbeck. Pitch is grounded over to third, fielded there by Halleck. Throw over to first, and here's the runner breaking for home, and he's going to be out. Out. So, wow. Colin Weisler is out trying to score, so that becomes a 5-3-2 double play. So no runs, no hits, 2 errors, 1 left. They did call that an error. So it is now, after 4.5, Wynot 7, Tabor 2. We'll be back with the bottom half of the 5th inning after these messages on Classic Hits 106.3 and 5-star streaming on YouTube from Midwest Insurance Agency and Merchant State Bank. From Terry Foxhoven Ballpark in Wynot, I'm Michael Schumacher.
Insurance can be complicated, but it doesn't have to be when you insure with Midwest Insurance Agency, located at 3016 Piper Street in Yankton. Through 3 generations, the Devine family has been awarded numerous awards and has spent many hours serving the community. Travis and Whitney Devine currently carry on that legacy. They know what is best when it comes to insuring your property, vehicles, and other equipment because they're just like you. Midwest Insurance Agency, Yankton. Call 605-665-2389 to book your appointment.
You will find Merchant State Bank in Freeman, Hurley, Viborg, and Irene, the bank that offers big bank products to meet your financial needs. Merchant State Bank's mission is to promote economic stability within the communities they call home. Visit Merchant State Bank at msb-sd.com to browse their website. Merchant State Bank is proud to sponsor the athletic and academic activities of the communities they serve. Merchant State Bank, since 1899, an equal opportunity lender.
Welcome back to Terry Foxhoven Ballpark in Wynot on Classic Hits 106.3 and 5-star streaming on YouTube as we continue our District 6B coverage. Championship game between Tabor and Wynot. Wynot leads heading into the bottom of the 5th, 7-2. First pitch from Scott Morrison to Hunter Halleck is a ball, 1-0. Hunter Halleck will be followed by Matt Brown. Matt Brown's on deck. Who's on deck is brought to you by Chris Hay Grinding in Tyndall. He'll be followed by Chase Corton. That's in for a strike, 1-1. So Tabor's been held in check, but of course we do know this high-powered offense. Scott Morrison pitched 4 2/3 innings this season, so he's already entering his second inning of relief, or third inning of relief.
$1 foul ball, sponsored by Cedar Security Bank of Wynot, Fordyce, and Huntington.
This is his second inning of relief, sorry. So 1 ball, 2 strikes as that was fouled off. That ball's chopped foul. Count remains 1-2. Here's the 1-2 pitch. That is high. Evens the count at 2-2 to Hunter Halleck. Morrison winds and delivers. The righty pitches, and that is high. Full count, 3-2 to Hunter Halleck. So Hunter Halleck will be followed by Matt Brown and Chase Corton. So payoff pitch from Morrison to Halleck as Halleck calls time, steps out of the batter's box. Looks like he's talking to his bat. Steps back in. That is in the dirt, and that will be ball 4. And so Hunter Halleck will be aboard with a walk. That's his second walk of the evening. That'll bring up first baseman Matt Brown. On deck, center fielder Chase Corton. Matt Brown walked his first time up, or his last time up, and his first time up he struck out. So this is his first time up facing Scott Morrison, at least tonight. That pitch is in for a strike, 0-1. So 0-1 pitch coming up for Scott Morrison to Brown. Swing and a miss, strike 2, 0-2. So a really good crowd here tonight. Bleachers full down the third base line. Grandstand about half full. Swing and a miss for strike 3. Morrison gets his first out this inning. So Hunter Halleck stays at first. Matt Brown strikes out for the second time this evening. Brings up center fielder Chase Corton, who grounded out to third in the third and reached on a fielder's choice in the first. Corton was the starting pitcher for Tabor, and then moved to center field. That first pitch from Morrison is a ball, 1-0. Pitch is foul tipped. 1-1. So 1 ball, 1 strike to Chase Corton with Hunter Halleck on first. Easton Mutter on deck. That ball is lifted high into the air. That will be back and out of play. So count moves to 1-2. So 1 ball, 2 strikes. That ball's in the dirt, evens the count at 2-2. That ball is hit into left field, going deep. And that's a home run. Is that a home run for Chase Corton? As Easton Mutter, as they went to the fence, could not make the catch. So here is that home run on 5-star streaming on YouTube. All right, so that makes the score 7-4 as Hunter Halleck comes across as he was at first, and Chase Corton scores. So it's now 7-4. Like I said, this Tabor team can score in a hurry. So that's the 4th hit of the game for Tabor, making it 7-4. And we'll bring up Easton Mutter. On deck is Landon Schmidt. So yeah, Carson Weisler ran into the fence, unable to come up with that one, unfortunately, for Wynot. But here's the pitch. Count is 0-2 to Easton Mutter. That is high, 1-2. Ball's lifted high into shallow right field. Zach Foxhoven goes over, makes the catch for the second out of the inning. So Easton Mutter flies out to second base. That brings up second baseman Landon Schmidt.
For Tabor, the second baseman, Landon Schmidt.
On deck is Landon Barris. Pitches low, 1-0. Swing and a miss. Strike 1, 1-1. So 1 ball, 1 strike to Landon Schmidt. That ball is chopped foul off of home plate. Count moves to 1-2. So 1 ball, 2 strikes, nobody on, 2 down here in the bottom half of the 5th inning. Tabor has come across with 2 runs to cut that Wynot lead to 7-4. And that ball is lifted high. Peyton Weisler rolls over. He's in the first baseman's coaching box, and he will make the catch for the final out of the inning. But in the inning, they do score 2 runs on 1 hit, no errors, nobody left on base. At the end of 5, it's Wynot 7, Tabor 4. We'll be back with the 6th inning after these messages. This is South Central League Baseball on Classic Hits 106.3 and 5-star streaming. Wynot leads Tabor 7-4. We'll be back after these messages from Crofton Lakeview Golf Course and Jones Feed and Grain.
Crofton Lakeview Golf Course is located on the bluff overlooking the panoramic Lewis and Clark Lake in northeast Nebraska. Opened in 1989, the 9-hole regulation public course offers 3,149 yards of golf with a par 36. The course rating is a 35.5 with a slope rating of 115. Crofton Lakeview Golf Course is a proud sponsor of this broadcast. Good luck all South Central teams.
Jones Feed and Grain Trucking in Wynot, Nebraska is proud to serve the northeast Nebraska and surrounding tri-state area of Nebraska, South Dakota, and Iowa. When you need feed for your livestock, they haul dry or liquid right to your farm. When you need fertilizer, they also haul dry or liquid. Why not give Jones Feed and Grain Trucking a call to save you time and money with your feed or fertilizer needs? That's Jones Feed and Grain Trucking in Wynot, Nebraska, serving the tri-state area.
Welcome back to Classic Hits 106.3 and 5-star streaming and our continuing coverage of the District 6B tournament with the championship game between Tabor and Wynot. As we head into the 6th, Wynot leads 7-4. The first pitch from Landon Barris to Jalen Weisler is a ball. It'll be Weisler with Lee Hymas on deck. Who's on deck is brought to you by Chris Hay Grinding in Tyndall. And Hymas will be followed by Peyton Weisler. That one is fouled off. It is strike one, ball one, 1-1. As Wynot is hoping to maybe get those 2 runs back now, as they were leading 7-2. Now it's 7-4. And that ball is lifted high behind the plate. Joey Slama is not able to make the catch, and so that makes it 1-2. All right, so Landon Barris steps on out to the mound. Jalen Weisler now 1-2. Weisler reached on an error in the first, singled in the third, and flew out to center field. And that one's to right field. Going back is Bo Rothschadel. Going back, and that's going to hit the fence. Jalen Weisler rounds first. He's heading to second. He'll be diving head first in for a double for Jalen Weisler. The 7th hit of the game for Wynot. Puts a runner in scoring position. Brings up Lee Hymas. Hymas struck out in the first, singled in the third, and singled in the fourth. He'd love to single here because Jalen Weisler, with his speed, should be able to score, making it an 8-4 game. Hymas will be followed by Peyton Weisler and then Landon Weisler. Again, Hymas will be inducted into the South Dakota Amateur Baseball Association Hall of Fame in the semifinal games, between the semifinal games at the Amateur Baseball Tournament, which is being held in Brandon this year. So,
for Landon Barris.
So Lee Hymas fouls that first one off, 0-1. Now, I'm going to try to have interviews with Jake Weir, Lee Hymas, Chris Sutera, and Colton Schieffer, the 4 managers. I'd like to also pick a player or two if they're able to. If you have a player idea that you'd like me to interview before the state tournament, give me a text, 605-661-5858. Here's the 1-1 pitch from Bears. That's grounded up the middle, fielded by Rothschadel. He has to throw on the run. Just gets Lee Hymas. That does get the runner over to third, though, so that will be considered a sacrifice for Lee Hymas. You know, that is the Wynot way. So Jalen Weisler now at third with 1 down, bringing up first baseman Peyton Weisler. Peyton Weisler, the left-handed hitter, reached on an error in the fourth, flew out to third, popped out to third in the second and third. That one's popped over to third, but that is foul, 0-1. Here's the 0-1 pitch. That is high and outside, 1-1. All right, Landon Barris winds and delivers. Runner at third. Peyton Weisler swings and fouls back, 1-2. All right. And I want to, I know Mike Dufek was listening one day. I'm hoping he's listening now. Maybe he's here. But, Mike, I'd love to interview you. Please text me, 605-661-5858. That's high, 2-2. I'm going to tell you, I was a huge fan when you were playing. So here's the 2-2 pitch from Barris. That's fouled back. Count remains 2-2. I'm somebody, I grew up, people in Crofton probably remember Dorothy Kramer. And that, my parents were working, so I went into Dort's so I could play Little League. And then I got to watch the Cubs. I got to watch the Braves. We talked baseball. She was a huge sports fan, so I'd read the sports section in the morning. I'm 8. And they had South Central League box scores, so I grew up loving the South Central League, thinking these guys were just overlooked for the majors. So, swing and a miss by Peyton Weisler. That's a huge out for Barris to get that strikeout. That's now 2 down. So 2 down with a runner at third. So Barris trying to get out of this inning, giving up no runs, brings up third baseman Landon Weisler, who has reached on a fielder's choice, sacrificed, and flown out to center. That ball is fouled off. The Brew Crew is watching in the doctor's office in Freeman. All righty. Freeman, I love you guys. And I definitely want to interview Jake Weir and toss me a name, somebody to talk to from Freeman, a player to interview. That pitch is lifted into right center field. Bo Rothschadel coming over. He will make the catch. So the threat is averted. And that will do it. So in the top of the sixth, Wynot with no runs, 1 hit, no errors, and 1 left. After 5.5, it's Wynot 7, Tabor 4. We'll be back with the bottom half of the sixth inning after these messages from the Keg and Joe's Substation on Classic Hits 106.3 and 5-star streaming on YouTube from Terry Foxhoven Ballpark in Wynot. I'm Michael Schumacher.
The Keg and Tabor is a great place to enjoy some food or a cold one. The grill is on at 11 a.m. Monday through Saturday. Order yourself some appetizers, steak tips, a burger, or some fries or tots. Order up a cold one to go with your meal. Lunch specials are served Monday through Friday. Looking for a place to host a party? Check out the beer garden at the Keg. On the way to the game, make sure you stop by the Keg and Tabor to pick up your cold beverages and munchies. Mike and Anita are proud sponsors of Tabor Bluebirds and all South Central League baseball teams.
Joe's Substation in Lesterville says go Bronx. And so should you. Go to Joe's Substation when you are hungry. They serve that amazing Alaskan pollock and delicious roasted chicken. Lunch specials are served Tuesday through Friday from 11 to 1. And on Wednesday, it's the all-you-can-eat roasted chicken and fish buffet served from 5 to 8 p.m. Weekends, the kitchen is open from 5 p. to 9. So when you're out and about, hungry and need some nourishment or a cold beverage, Joe's Substation is the place. 4 miles south of Lesterville. Go Bronx.
Welcome back to Classic Hits 106.3 and 5-star streaming on YouTube. We enter the bottom half of the sixth inning. Tabor will be led off by Landon Barris, followed by Bo Rothschadel on deck. Who's on deck is brought to you by Chris Hay Grinding in Tyndall and Riley Rothschadel at the top of the order. First pitch from Scott Morrison is a ball, 1-0. Wynot leads Tabor 7-4. Swing and a miss, strike one, 1-1. That ball is hit. Boy, a number over to second, fielded by Zach Foxhoven, and he gets Barris over at first. Nice fielding play by Foxhoven. I think he made it look easier than it truly was. So a 4-3 putout for the first out of the sixth inning. We have ourselves a great ball game here. Tell your family and friends to tune on in because this is going to be a fun one. All right, hope you guys are enjoying it. Again, these two teams are guaranteed going to state. It's just a matter of seeding. So after this game, the 4 teams that are going, Crofton, Freeman, Tabor, and Wynot, will draft their pickup players. Here's the 1-0 pitch, and that's in the dirt, 2-0. And so I've always found that amazing. There's a lot of talent out there, depending on who's available. But if you just look at that Irene team, some great players there. That Lesterville team, I mean, if you're talking Ethan Washon, Alex Wagner, Michael Drotzman, so many great players there. Menno, some wonderful players there as well. Here's the pitch coming from Scott Morrison, 2-0. And that's in for a strike, 2-1. So these South Central League teams really get a chance to improve their standing. All right, we're going to either talk to Jackson Fegan or Bat Boy Hayden the Hammer Dangle. All right. I'll talk to both of them if they're willing. Here's the 2-ball, 2-strike pitch coming from Scott Morrison. Swing and a miss for strike 3. That is a nice strikeout for Morrison. Needed that on Bo Rothschadel because with Riley Rothschadel, as he showed in that first inning with the home run, you don't want to have runners on for somebody like Riley Rothschadel or Joey Slama. So getting it out here is huge. Here's the pitch from Morrison to Rothschadel. Hit down the right field line. That falls in fair. Hymas gets over there. Rothschadel rounds first. And Hymas gets there in a hurry. Rothschadel stops at first. Again, that's a sneaky good defensive play by Hymas because Rothschadel with his speed, boy, 9 times out of 10, that's going to be a double where that was located. Because that Rothschadel plays at Augustana, really talented player. And that brings up Joey Slama. And again, not a player you want having up to bat if you're a Wynot fan with a runner on when you're trying to keep that 3-run lead. But if you're a Tabor fan, you gotta love seeing this. Here's the pitch from Morrison. Here's the throw down to second on the steal attempt by Rothschadel, and he is in successfully. So 1 ball, no strikes, 2 down. with a runner on second in Riley Rothschadel. So good speed. So if there's a hit to the outfield, Rothschadel's going to be able to score, especially with 2 outs. He's going to be able to go on contact. So Morrison working from the stretch. Comes home with the 1-0 pitch. Make it 2-0. So 2 balls, no strikes. Scott Morrison looks in, gets the sign. That's in for a strike. 2-1. So 2 balls, 1 strike, 2 out, 1 on here in the bottom half of the 6th inning. Tabor trails Wynot 7-4, but man, they are looking to get at least 1 run here with Riley Rothschadel on second and Joey Slama at bat. On deck is Hunter Halleck. That ball's chopped foul, evens the count at 2-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 out, runner on base number 2. From Terry Foxhoven Ballpark in Wynot, I'm Michael Schumacher. Thanks for tuning in to Classic Hits 106.3 and 5-star streaming on YouTube. Just a reminder, state tournament games cannot be video streamed. We will have an audio stream here on 5-star streaming. Radio broadcast on KVTK, ESPN Radio 101.5. That ball was low, 3-2. So payoff pitch coming up for Scott Morrison, who's pitched really well. Again, only had 4 2/3 innings pitched in the regular season. Here's the payoff pitch, and that is low. Ball 4, and Rothschadel will head down to third. So runners at first and third now with 2 down, and that'll bring up Hunter Halleck. Halleck is always a threat. Halleck has walked twice tonight. He's 0 for 1. And so Slama is aboard via a walk. So runners at first and third. Jackson Saba will run for Slama.
Courtesy runner at first base for Tabor, number 12, Jackson Saba.
There's a throw not down to second. Foxhoven picked it off in front of second to keep Rothschadel from advancing. So runners now at second and third with 2 down. That pitch was ball 1, 1-0. So it does feel like Morrison might be hitting a bit of a wall now here in his 3rd inning of relief. That pitch is low, 2-0. Ball 3, 3-0. That's in for a strike. 3-1. Give Morrison a chance to catch his breath there. That pitch is hit into left field. And that's going to drop in. That's going to score 2 runs. Halleck heading to second. And Halleck will be in with a double. So that's the 5th hit of the game, and that makes it 7-6 in favor of Wynot. But Tabor threatening. I told you Halleck is a threat. With that double there, that scores Jackson Saba, and that scores Riley Rothschadel, and makes the score 7-6.
First baseman Matt Brown.
That'll bring up Matt Brown. On deck is center fielder Chase Corton, who homered his last time up. So if you're Scott Morrison, you'd love to get this out here. And there's going to be a meeting on the mound. So we're going to take a quick timeout. This timeout brought to you by the Beer Garden in Menno and maybe Byerly Insurance. I'm Michael Schumacher on Classic Hits 106.3 and 5-star streaming on YouTube from Terry Foxhoven Ballfield in Wynot. We'll be right back.
Minnow Beer Garden, where the game's always on, the drinks are cold, and the wings and pizzas are delicious. There's Chislic and burgers too. Gather your crew for a night of darts, pool, or casino fun. Or soak up the sun on the spacious outdoor area. Whether you're cheering on your favorite team or just looking for a laid-back hangout, Minnow Beer Garden is your destination. You won't go hungry or thirsty when you hang at the legendary Beer Garden in Menno.
Welcome back to Terry Foxhoven Ballfield. That pitch saved by Schenk keeps the runner from advancing from second to third. So, ball 1. 2, Matt Brown. Scott Morrison still in there pitching. 2 runs across this inning, 2 down. Hunter Halleck at second with Matt Brown at bat. Here's the 1-0 pitch. That's chopped down the third baseline, and that gets past the fielder, and that's going to score another run. We have ourselves a ball game. Matt Brown over at first now on after his single makes it 6 hits for Tabor. It's now tied at 7. Told you, Tabor can score at will sometimes. And that brings up Chase Corton. Corton, of course, hit a home run his last time up. And there's going to be another meeting on the mound. Probably expect a pitching change here. So we'll be back after this message from Byerly Insurance and Rural Manufacturing. And this is Classic Hits 106.3 and 5-star streaming on YouTube. Coverage of South Central League Baseball from Terry Foxhoven Ballfield. I'm Michael Schumacher.
Byerly Insurance would like to welcome new customers offering no obligation quotes. They will gladly travel to you with their mobile insurance service, doing business in Yankton, Lesterville, Menno, and surrounding areas of the South Central League. Give Rita Byerly or Brody Byerly a call at 605-387-5999 or go to ByerlyINS.com. When it comes to insurance for autos, home, farm, liability, commercial, work comp, or bonds, Byerly Insurance covers the bases.
Rural Manufacturing Company of Freeman is this area's distributor of PWA poly-bulk storage bins that come in several sizes from 1 to 18 ton. PWA bins are very moisture-proof, non-corrosive, and extremely durable, offering a 7-year warranty. Being able to see into the bin gives you the security of a visual feed level. If you have an acreage, check out our pale fill options to feed your animals. Rural Manufacturing of Freeman offers setup and delivery and a variety of accessories to complete your bin. PWA bins are in stock and on display at Rural Manufacturing or call 605-925-7135 for more details.
Larson Carpet has the best flooring for your space, lifestyle, and budget. Family owned and operated since 1972, Larson Carpet offers a huge variety of flooring options, both in stock and special order. When you want the job done right, come to Larson Carpet. Located at 208 Walnut Street in the Meridian District, Larson Carpet is your friendly, family-owned flooring specialist that is right for you.
Need your car towed? A little body work done after your tow? 402 Collision and Towing can give you a tow, fix the dents, and detail the car out for you all at one time. When your car is back to perfection and you need your oil changed, 402 Collision and Towing can do that also. Talk about great service and perfection under one roof. That's what 402 Collision and Towing in Crofton can do for you. 402 Collision and Towing, offering the Crofton and surrounding area perfection when it comes to your car.
Welcome back to Terry Foxhoven Ballpark in Wynot, Nebraska, home of the District 6B tournament, as we are still in the bottom of the 6th with 2 down. Pitching change. Carson Weisler now pitching for Wynot. Now playing left field is Landon Weisler. Scott Morrison is at second base. So Carson Weisler coming in. That pitch to Chase Corton hit up the middle, and Morrison does get to it, but cannot field it completely. And so runners at first and second. I'm sure they will consider that an error. And so runners now at first and second.
For the Bluebirds, the left fielder, Easton
That
Mutter.
brings up left fielder Easton Mutter. Mutter with a hit by a pitch and 2 pop-outs to second. That pitch gets past Schenk, and runners will advance to second and third. Count is now 1-0. So 2 balls and 1 strike to Easton Mutter, and that ball's chopped over to third, and that's going to make it into left field, and 1 run is going to score. That makes it 8-7 in favor of Tabor, with runners now at first and third on the single by Easton Mutter. So Mutter at first, Corton at third, and Brown comes around to score. So that brings up second baseman Landon Schmidt. So Carson Weisler looks in, comes set, comes home, and that pitch is out of the zone. And Mutter will make it down to second. 1-0 is the count. Pitch is low, 2-0. So 2 balls, no strikes to Landon Schmidt. Here's the pitch from Weisler, and that is low, 3-0. Three balls, no strikes. Ooh, that's in for a strike, 3-1. Here's the 3-1 pitch. That is ball 4. Runners are on every base now on that walk. So Carson Weisler will now be facing Landon Barris after that walk. So bases are full with Chase Corton at third, Easton Mutter at second, Landon Schmidt at first. That brings up Landon Barris with Bo Rothschadel on deck. First pitch out of the zone, 1-0. Carson Weisler just not hitting the zone at all. And if you're a Tabor Bluebird, you're probably not going to take much of a swing right now because he's kind of giving you a walk, and that is inside. Almost hits him. I think Barris was almost frustrated that he got out of the way. Would have been another run scored as it's 8-7 now in favor of Tabor. Tabor has scored 4 runs this inning. Again, both of these teams will be going to state. That pitch is in for a strike, 2-1. It's just a matter of seeding. And again, the selection show and the seeding and the draw will be tomorrow night. So we'll have that on At the Mic on Monday morning. At the Mic airs every Monday through Friday, 7 to 9 a.m. on ESPN Radio, which will be the home of our state tournament coverage, kvtk.com. So 3-1 to Barris. And that is ball 4. Walks in the 9th run for Tabor.
For Tabor, the right fielder, Bo Rothschadel.
Brings up Bo Rothschadel, his second time up this inning. Barris had grounded out to second to lead off. After getting the first 2 outs, that's when the wheels kind of came off this inning. That pitch is high, 1-0 to Bo Rothschadel. So Wynot 7 runs on 7 hits with 1 error. Tabor with 9 runs on 7 hits with 4 errors. That pitch is in the dirt, 2-0. So 3 balls, 1 strike to Bo Rothschadel. That pitch is in for strike 2. So full count, payoff pitch coming up, bases loaded. 3-2 count to Bo Rothschadel. 2 down. Here's the pitch from Weisler. Everybody's running. And that is ball 4. That's 3 consecutive walks for Carson Weisler.
For Tabor, the top of the order, and shortstop Riley Rothschadel.
That brings up the top of the order and Riley Rothschadel as there's going to be a meeting on the mound. And so we'll take a quick break as they meet on the mound. There will be a pitching change. We'll be back after these messages from the Bone Setter and the Corner Nugget and High Street Insurance.
Welcome to the Bone Setter Chiropractic. I'm Dr. TJ Stoats. Our office is located at 215 Mulberry, Suite 9 in downtown Yankton. At our new and inviting clinic, we offer a hands-on approach, decompression traction, electrical stimulation, acupuncture, exercise and nutrition advice, as well as state-of-the-art examination techniques. The Bone Setter brings you comfort when there is discomfort. The Bone Setter, 215 Mulberry, Suite 9, or online at thebonesetter.com.
Friendly place to have a drink with friends and family. Darts, pool, big screen TV, nice, friendly, hospitable staff, great decor for family and community gatherings. How about 5 stars? Tremendous place for local people to meet. These are just a few of the comments about the Corner Nugget in Lesterville. Have you been there yet? If not, sounds like you should head to the Corner Nugget in Lesterville. Music, cold beverages, and your favorite drink mixed just right. The Corner Nugget is a proud sponsor of the Lesterville Bronx. Stop in and catch a game on the big screen.
High Street Insurance and Financial in Crofton has what you need for all your insurance needs. Whether it's auto, home, farm, crop, commercial, life, or health, they have the right products and the right service you're looking for all your insurance needs. Call High Street Insurance in Crofton at 402-388-4772 or stop in at 1201 West 2nd Street in Crofton. A proud sponsor of this sports broadcast.
Everyone wants a bank that cares about them to be more than just an account with a balance. Cedar Security Bank is committed to getting to know their customers and answering all their financial questions with honest answers about their money and investments. Cedar Security Bank has locations in Fordyce, Hardington, and Wynot with convenient 24-hour ATMs in all 3 locations. Stop in and visit Cedar Security Bank when you have questions about your accounts. Cedar Security Bank, member FDIC.
Hitting it off with the right real estate broker can be tricky sometimes. You want a broker who's experienced and knows what they're doing, creative to properly advertise, determined to get the job done for you, and honest so you know you can trust them. Bridget Whitmire's repeat real estate customers.
Welcome back to Classic Hits 106.3 and 5-star streaming on YouTube. Now pitching for Wynot is Zach Foxhoven. First pitch is high, 1-0. He starts off facing Riley Rothschadel, who led off the game for Tabor with a home run. He also has a single on the night. That pitch gets out of the glove of Schenk. It's now 2-0. Foxhoven with a bit of a quick pitch delivery. Bases are loaded for Tabor. Landon Weisler moved back to third, and Carson Weisler moved back to left field. And that is ball 3, 3-0. And that is high, ball 4. That walks in another run. So after getting the first 2 outs, there have been 10 consecutive batters who have reached base. So Rothschadel at first, Bo Rothschadel at second, Landon Barris at third. Easton Mutters has scored, Landon Schmidt has scored. That is the 4th consecutive walk this inning. Outside, 1-0. That's in for a strike, 1-1. So Zach Foxhoven gets a strike. It's 1 ball, 1 strike to Joey Slama. On deck is Hunter Halleck. 2 down, bases loaded. That ball is fouled off. 1-2. So here's the 1-2 pitch to Joey Slama from Zach Foxhoven. That is in the dirt, gets past Schenk. That hits the backstop, and that will score another run, 12-7 in favor of Tabor, as the count is now 2-2 with runners on second and third. That brings home Landon Barris with Bo Rothschadel at third, Riley Rothschadel at second. That ball's hit into the outfield. That will be in for another single, and that will score 2 runs, making it 14-7 in favor of Tabor. Now a runner at first. As Slama gets his second hit of the game. And Bo and Riley both come across. That brings up third. Jackson Saba will run for Joey Slama. Hunter Halleck now comes up. He has doubled and walked twice. Brings up Hunter Halleck. So Zach Foxhoven. Two balls, no strikes. That's low, ball 3, 3-0. And that is ball 4. So runners now at first and second, with Matt Brown coming up.
For the Bluebirds, the first baseman, Matt Brown.
So 14-7, Tabor has taken a lead, scoring 10 runs this inning. That pitch is out of the zone in the dirt, and that will let the runners advance as well, 1-0. So technically, Matt Brown with 2 down, 2 out here in the bottom half of the 6th. Matt Brown represents the winning run, because if he were to hit a home run here, the game would be over due to the 10-run rule. So that ball is lifted high, and that will be into center field. And that hits the fence. 2 runs will score. Brown will be at second with a double. That's the 9th hit of the game for Tabor, and that makes it 16-7. So again, like I said, Brown represents the quote-unquote winning run. As Hunter Halleck comes around to score, and Jackson Saba comes across to score. Chase Corton is now coming up. He reached on an error in the 6th, homered in the 5th, grounded out to 3rd, and reached on a fielder's choice. So Zach Foxhoven trying to get out of this inning, keep Wynot alive, and that will allow the runner to advance to 3rd. So ball 1, 1-0. One ball, no strikes to Chase Corton. Easton Mutter on deck. That ball's in the dirt. 2-0. So the winning run is 90 feet away. Swing and a miss. Strike 1, 2-1 to Chase Corton. 2 balls, 1 strike to Chase Corton. 2 down. The first 2 batters this inning went down, and then since then it's been nothing but base runners for Tabor. 2 balls, 2 strikes with 2 out here in the bottom half of the 6th. Again, Zach Foxhoven trying to get Chase Corton and keep Wynot alive. Both of these teams going to state along with Crofton and Freeman. And so here's the 2-2 pitch, and that is high, ball 3, full count. Again, on deck is left fielder Easton Mutter. Swing and a miss for strike 3. So, after 6, it's Tabor 16, Wynot 7. In that inning, they scored 12 runs.
12 runs, all with 2 outs.
On 5 hits, 6 hits, 1 error, and 1 runner left on base. At the end of 6, it's Tabor 16, Wynot 7. We'll be back after these messages from Menno State Bank and Tabor Lumber Co-op.
At Menno State Bank, our team is dedicated to the traditions of service. We offer a wide array of products to accommodate all your financial needs, including checking and savings accounts, CDs, loans, IRAs, debit cards, credit cards, a 24-hour ATM, and online banking. Be sure to inquire about our competitive rates. Menno State Bank, member FDIC, proud to serve the Menno community and surrounding areas.
Since 1958, Tabor Lumber Co-op, located in Tabor and Lesterville, has been your trusted partner in agricultural service and supply. Need an egg building? We do any size, any frame. And in the field, we're with you every step of the way. With cropland seed, liquid and dry fertilizer, custom spraying, soil, tissue, and grid sampling, and precision mapping. This is more than just a co-op. This is Tabor Lumber Co-op. Stop by today. We're here to help you grow.
Tabor Lumber Co-op is a proud sponsor of South Central League Baseball.
Rewarding you for doing everyday things, like buying gas, shopping, and dining local. Does your bank do that? If you're a Core Trust customer, your bank does that. When you open a premium or preferred checking account and meet requirements, you get access to Core Trust perks powered by Bazing, an exclusive network offering 300,000 plus deals and discounts on member FDIC.
Zach Foxhoven, pitcher, is up facing Landon Barris. On deck is David Schenk, who's on deck, brought to you by Chris Hay Grinding in Tyndall. So that first pitch was fouled off. That one is a ball, 1-1. That pitch is grounded over to short, fielded by Rothschild. A long throw over to first, just in time to get Zach Foxhoven. So 1 up, 1 down here in the top half of the 7th. Beautiful play out there at short by
David Schenk.
All right, so that first pitch to Schenk is a ball, 1-0. David has flown out to center, walked, and reached on an error. So 1 ball, no strikes. As Wynot trails 16-7, looking to try to get some runs. That ball is hit over to Riley Rothschild, fields it cleanly. Throw over to first is in time. Man, Rothschild plays some great shortstop, and that is 2 down here in the top of the 7th. Another 6-3 put out, and that brings up second baseman Scott Morrison, who is batting for the second time tonight. He reached in the 5th inning on a single. On deck is Carson Weisler, who's back in left field after starting in third, going to left, pitching, and going back to left. Here's Landon Barris. Ball 1, 1-0. That ball's low, 2-0. So again, Crofton, Freeman, Wynot, and Tabor will be the 4 representatives from the South Central League at the state tournament. We'll get the draw tomorrow night, so we'll broadcast and talk about that on At the Mic on Monday. That hit is just over the glove of Riley Rothschadel. So that is a single, the 8th hit of the game, and that puts Scott Morrison on first. And that'll bring up Carson Weisler. So a nice hit there by Scott Morrison. So Carson Weisler with Jackson Sudbeck on deck. So Barris comes home. That's grounded down the third baseline. Just foul. Not foul by much, but foul just enough to be foul. Strike one, 0-1. So here's the pitch from Barris to Weisler. That gets past catcher Slama. Scott Morrison heads down to second. And that'll be 1-1. Count is 1-1 now. 1 ball, 1 strike, 2 down here in the top half of the 7th as Wynot tries to claw their way back after giving up 12 runs in the bottom half of the 6th. So Barris looks home. That ball is hit into left field, and that is right to Mutter. And so that will do it. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, 1 runner left. At the end of 6.5, it's Tabor 16, Wynot 7. We'll be back after these messages from Wynot Oil and Menno Olivet Care Center.
The Wynot Oil Company in Wynot, Nebraska. Call them for all your farm delivery needs like fuel, grease, and oil. The Wynot Oil Company can also assist you with your auto and ag tire needs, whether you need new or just a repair. They now offer hydraulic hose repair and sell acetylene tanks. Find knowledgeable technicians to get your ag and automotive repairs done right. The Wynot Oil Company has a convenience store that carries light groceries, sandwiches, and more. Wynot Oil Company, a proud sponsor of this sports broadcast.
Since 1971, the Menno Olivet Care Center in Menno, South Dakota has been providing skilled nursing, long-term, assisted living, rehab, and respite care in their 49-bed facility. The staff at Menno Olivet Care Center provides a high quality of compassionate care guided by their mission statement, responding to and sharing God's love through the service to people. Join the nursing or CNA staff by applying to the Menno Olivet Care Center's Facebook page. Finding the right insurance is about considering all of your insurance options. At Integrity Insurance Group in Wynot and Yankton, they help their clients to have more opportunities with multiple insurance companies under one roof to make sure that they get the right coverage for the best price. Contact Brandy or Ivy and start insuring with Integrity today. Integrity Insurance Group is a proud sponsor of this sports broadcast. IntegrityInsuranceGroup.com.
Welcome back to Terry Foxhoven Ballpark in Wynot, Nebraska, where we are entering the bottom half of the 7th inning with Tabor leading Wynot 16-7. Zach Foxhoven on the mound still, facing off with Easton Mutter. Easton Mutter with Landon Schmidt on deck. Landon Schmidt on deck. Who's on deck is brought to you by Chris Hay Grinding in Tyndall, and then Landon Barris in the hole. That pitch is a strike, 2-1. So if Tabor is able to score here, that will end the game with the 10-run mercy rule. Ball 3, 3-1.
Pitching for Wynot, 21 pitches at the beginning of this inning.
There's a swing and a miss for strike 3. For out number 1. So Mutter goes down on strikes. That brings up Landon Schmidt. That ball is hit over to the shortstop, fielded cleanly there. There's another quick out. And that will bring up pitcher Landon Barris. That pitch is a ball, 1-0. Ball 2, 2-0. Ooh, high and inside, ball 3, 3-0 to Landon Barris. On deck is Bo Rothschadel. That's in for a strike, 3-1. That ball is hit out into right center field. That's a single for Barris. That puts the winning run on first, and that is the 10th hit of the game for the 11th hit of the game for Tabor. That brings up right fielder Bo Rothschadel. Rothschadel has walked, struck out, singled, and flown out to center. Left-handed batter awaits the pitch from Zach Foxhoven. That's in for a strike, 0-1. That is high, 1-1. That hit is into right center field. That will bring Barris around second. He's heading to third. This could be it. There could be a run scored. Barris running home. Here's the throw, and he will score. And that will do it on the double by Bo Rothschadel. Landon Barris comes around to score to give Tabor a 10-run lead.
In the bottom of the 7th inning.
So in the bottom of the 7th inning, 1 run on 2 hits, no errors, 1 runner left on base. In the final, it is Tabor 17, Wynot 7. We'll be back with our post-game show after these messages on Classic Hits 106.3 and 5-star streaming on YouTube. From Terry Foxhoven Ballpark, I'm Michael Schumacher.
At Renewable Ag Products, their business is based on customer relationships and customer service. They coordinate distiller supplies to provide area livestock producers with their commodity needs by working closely with multiple ethanol and processing plants within their region. Their office trades a core group of feed ingredients that include modified distillers, wet distillers, dry distillers, grain, corn syrup, soybean meal, soy hull pellets, corn gluten feed, and corn screening. Call Renewable Ag Products and talk with Henry or Frank. They do their best to make your purchasing decisions easy.
Welcome back to Terry Foxhoven Ballpark in Wynot, Nebraska. I'm Michael Schumacher, as we will have a district tournament MVP announcement here, so we're going to keep it here for that. But Wynot falls to Tabor. Tabor will be your district champion. They will be the champion, and Wynot will be representative number 1. Freeman is representative number 2. And Crofton will be representative number 3. The state tournament begins on Wednesday. So we won't know the draw until tomorrow night. So again, tune in to At the Mic on Monday morning. We will have a discussion over those initial games that we'll be broadcasting from Brandon. I'll be doing the broadcasting next week, and then after that we'll figure it out with Zach. But those will be on ESPN Radio, 101.5 FM, 1570 AM, KVTK, Vermilion and Yankton. Also, KVTK.com. And then we'll be doing an audio-only stream here on 5-star streaming on YouTube. So that will be it. So Tabor, your District 6B champions, win 17 runs on 11 hits with 4 errors. Wynot, 7 runs on 8 hits with 1 error.
And fans, we've got a huge 50-50 jackpot that they're still counting.
Oh, there's counting the 50-50 jackpot. So for Tabor, you had Riley Rothschadel with a home run, a single, and a walk. Joey Slama with a single, 2 walks and 2 singles. Sorry about that. Hunter Halleck with a walk, 2 walks, and a double. Matt Brown with a single and a double. Chase Corton with a home run. Then you had Easton Mutter with a single. You had Landon Schmidt with a walk. 2 walks, sorry. Landon Barris had a walk and a single. And then you had Bo Rothschadel with a walk, a single, and a double. So that's kind of your offensive output for Tabor tonight. For Wynot, Carson Weisler with a triple and a walk. Jackson Sudbeck with a walk and a single. Jalen Weisler with a single and a double. Lee Hymas with 2 singles and a sacrifice. Peyton Weisler got on by an error. Then you had Landon Weisler with a fielder's choice and a sacrifice. Zach Foxhoven with a single. David Schenk with a walk and reached on an error. And then Nate Weisler with a single. And Scott Morrison with 2 singles. So Wynot is representative number 1. Crofton, representative number 3. Freeman, representative number 2. And Tabor is your District 6B champion.
2 errors, 10 left on base. Taking the loss was Scott Morrison.
So taking the loss is Scott Morrison.
17 runs on 10 hits, 4 errors, 7 left on base.
So they had Tabor for 10 hits and Wynot with 9 and 2 errors. So, again, we will be broadcasting from Brandon. We will be announcing the District 6B MVP.
Also, the winning ticket in 50-50.
So I'm not sure how long the wait is for that district MVP. Would love to broadcast that. So I tell you what, in the meantime, I'll run a couple of commercials here, and then we'll be right back. Hopefully we'll have that district MVP coming up. And again, want to thank all of our sponsors before I go. I want to thank Greg Davis Excavation, Crofton Lakeview Golf Course, Downtown Auto Service, High Street Insurance and Financial Services, Menno State Bank, Central Farmers Cooperative, Joe's Substation, Elkhorn Valley Bank and Trust, Byerly Insurance, Tabor Lumber Co-op, The Keg, Wynot Oil Company, Parker Hannafin, Renewable Ag Products, 402 Collision and Repair, Midwest Insurance, Merchant State Bank, Corner Nugget, Jones Feed and Grain, Cedar Security Bank, Larson Carpet, The Bone Setter, Rural Manufacturing, Hoots Bar, Core Trust Bank, The Beer Garden, Integrity Insurance, Menno Olivet Care Center, Whitmire & Associates Realty and Property Management. The National Anthem was brought to you by Richard and Nancy Klochek and the Scotland VFW Auxiliary. And Who's on Deck is brought to you by Chris Haygrinding of Tyndall. All right, we're getting our MVP.
District 6B Commissioner Galen Guthmiller will make a presentation of the South Dakota District 6B Tournament Most Valuable Player and also award the District 6B Championship plaque. First of all, the announcement of the District 6B Tournament Most Valuable Player. In 2 games, this player went 5 for 9 with 6 runs, 6 RBI, a triple, and 2 home runs. The shortstop for the Tabor Bluebirds, Riley Rothschadel, number 2.
So Riley Rothschadel is your District 6B MVP. So 2 home runs, 5 for 9 in 2 games. So told you. And some slick fielding defense. That wasn't announced out there, but definitely some slick fielding defense.
6B Tournament Championship plaque. Manager Chris Sutera.
So Chris Sutera and the Tabor Bluebirds come out to receive their plaque. Well, actually, it looks like it's just Chris coming out to grab it. And so Chris Sutera, Tabor is the District 6B champion. So congratulations to the Tabor Bluebirds. Congratulations to Riley Rothschadel. Again, we will have complete coverage of the South Central League teams at the state tournament on kvtk.com. And so we'll be back. We'll be back then. That'll be on ESPN Radio, KVTK.com, and 5-star streaming on YouTube. Well, for the last time from Terry Foxhoven Ballpark for this year, I'm Michael Schumacher. Thank you for joining us on Classic Hits 106.3 and 5-star streaming on YouTube. A big thank you to all of our sponsors. Again, as we say, you don't have to buy from them, but give them a chance to compete. That's all we ask. So, all right. Well, on Classic Hits 106.3 and 5-star streaming on YouTube, I hope you guys have a great night as we are getting ready to restart the music. If my phone would pull up the system here. There we go. So you guys have a great night. As always, love you, and we will talk to you down the line.
6-2, 5-0. 3